Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for the first Sarcasm City Sports Q&A of the year, people. People, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for the first Sarcasm City Sports Q&A of the year, people. People, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for the first Sarcasm City Sports Q&A of the year, people. People, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV. Bear me, people. My apologies there, people. As soon as I got it on the TV as well. I always put it up on the big TV, but we're in the building. Timo is here as well. Jez is here as well. Like I said, live for the first Q&A of the year of 2023, people. Brought to you by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note. For those that haven't seen the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A before, it's where you lot in the comments run the show. So get your questions in, people. Get your questions in right now. Get all your sporting questions. I'm sure you'll have questions on Tottenham losing to Villa, Chelsea drawing at Forest, plus more. So get all your questions in. But it's any sport, people, past or present. Any sport, past or present. So it can be football, it can be basketball, it can be boxing, it can be NFL, UFC, whatever you want to ask about, people. Whatever you want to ask about. Victor's also in the building as well. Don't forget the link for the membership is in the pinned comment as well, people. Link is in the comment. The link for the membership is in the pinned comment. Hopefully the year that's not a bad omen to the first Q&A and that with me going off in the background, but large up everyone that is locked in. We'll go to you first, Victor. What are you telling me? You good? You just dropped off. Timo, what are you telling me? You good?
Yes, guys, I'm good. What's going on? So, first Q&A of the year. As you can see, I'm still hungover from the fireworks last night. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what?
Good New Year's Eve.
I had a great New Year's Eve, man. Just
Okay.
a bit, just for me, so I like to bring things like a normal tourist again, like normal people in the down by the river, innit? So, yeah, man, I miss last night's fireworks. I thought it was nice as well. So, same old New Year's.
It's calm. Jez, what are you telling me, family? You good? Outside of Tottenham, are you good? That's what I should ask.
Yeah. I literally just came back from what's it called? Party, innit? So
okay, let's go.
Yeah, but it was just more of a family kind of one.
Love that. The family all good, yeah?
Yeah. Just got to see actually one of my oldest sister friend. Obviously, I was actually first time seeing her. What's it called? Her charge. That was nice to see.
Seen, okay. Calm, love that. Victor's in the building as well. Yes, Victor, what are you saying?
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain.
Are you blessed? All right, man. All right, Larger, let me get to the chat anyway. Let's see what you say. In time to shine, to smash the likes. This is going to be a classic. Yeah, it will be. Man says, big up, everyone. Time to shine is also saying big up. Big up. Peter saying, run the likes up. Yes, run the likes up, people. Run the likes up. I will be putting the Q&As as well on the audio platforms as well. Obviously, I cut out the start there, but I'm going to run the Q&As throughout the year on the audio platforms as well. Big up little bro Ryan in the cut. Big up Steve as well. Says yes, people, you already know. Big up Taza in the cut as well. Big up Nuz. Big up Alam to Sarcasm Cityception. You already know. Ryan complaining per usual. I don't know what he's complaining about, but he moved. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Whatever in it. Right, we'll start. We'll go to. You know what? We'll start with you, Jess. The floor is yours. I think that's the fitting way to start the first Q&A of the year is you talking about Spurs. Obviously lost at home to Villa. I actually thought it was at Villa Park. I didn't realize until
it was at Tottenham.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I actually thought it was at Villa Park until I went to do the thumbnail, and I was like, oh shit, it was at home. So all right, you said save you a spot here. The floor is yours, Jess. What do you want to talk about?
No, it's just again it's just more of people when I speak, listen to me. That's all I gotta say, man. Because I told some of you man in the chat, I told you man about certain things about Conte. I told you about the club and how things are gonna end up with, and this is only just the beginning, to be honest, because looking at the schedule, like Floss, we literally went through it in GCs, added
Yeah.
Q&As, and I told you, like, I think there's a good possibility he walks in this window. In my opinion, I think this is the window. I think this is
Oh,
the
January.
this is
So
the month.
you think he walks it? So you don't think he makes it to February as Spurs manager? Is what you're saying?
No, I think he's gonna leave, and Poch is gonna come in by latest March, early March, latest.
Oh, jeez.
Because
Okay.
because
Talk about it.
because the thing is, even the reports now, like they're saying, we don't have the funds to go and bring in enough players in. I'm
Mhm.
not even asking. I'm not even asking for crazy amount of money to be spent on one player. Just a couple of players that I think can come in and help the squad out, kind of like similar to Kulusevski and Bentancur did. But the
Okay.
issue now is, you see Conte with his comments. He's talking about how for a title charge you need 12 to 15 good players, great players in your team, which then, and then you add other players to the team that cost 50, 60, 70, even 80 million. I'm like,
Mhm.
Arsenal's most expensive player on the pitch right now, when the
Mhm.
strongest 11 is literally Ben White 50. All of them are under that. So for me, it's kind of like, I kind of hear what he's saying, but it's not necessarily the truth. So he has these type of expectations, but he knows that our club is the way it is,
Mhm.
and know he's trying to do it that way. And I think this is something that we, in my opinion, cannot do for him. Under this ownership, he cannot get it. So there's no funds in January. We need to sell in order to even get players in, because people will keep forgetting. We, we don't. It's not because the club necessarily wants to do that, but we don't have space. We can't just
Mhm.
have players unregistered for competitions and just be like, but we're still gonna pay their wages. It doesn't work like that. We need to
Yeah.
find first solutions for them in order for other players to come into the team that are not maybe English, so they can be registered. But it's the
Got
issue
you.
that we have. Nobody wants to get the deadwood. We need to wait till the summer. So we have no money. We cannot get people out of the club. So what do we do? You probably get like a loan signing. We probably loan somebody out to make space, but they're gonna come back.
Mhm.
We have other guys on loan that gonna come back. Um, Money's not there, so for
Mhm.
me, it just really looks. And then when you look at the schedule, unless the America happens and we beat Arsenal in City and we get progress against Portsmouth, I just don't see how he's staying after January. I just really don't see it. I think we're not gonna give him the money in order not. This is the issue. This is the issue. I think we can give him money, but the
Mhm.
type of players he wants are unattainable for us. He's asking for
Ah.
Bastonis. He's asking for Bastonis, Lautaro Martinez, and these type of guys. I'm sorry, but these guys don't want to join Tottenham, and I don't blame these
Mhm.
guys not to join Tottenham, because we're not in this situation. Why, to make them feel like, you know what, yo, let's join Tottenham. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not a situation right now for them to make even sense, and they're happy where they're at. So I don't understand. So when people were trying to tell me in the summer, don't worry, we will get a centre back in January, they literally told us how we were trying to get a left-sided centre back in the summer. They failed to do that all summer. How can you convince me now that they're going to do it in January? And it's going to be a good enough one as well. Like for me, like I said,
Best.
I've been ignoring these transfer rumors, to be honest, because bro, the ITKs are going crazy. They go, I see too many, not even just for my club. I'm seeing for Man United recently crazy
Mhm.
ITKs. I see him for Chelsea. Literally every youngster on FM Football Manager I see is getting linked to Chelsea now. Like it's crazy right
Yeah.
now. The world's crazy. So I've been just being ignoring. I came already in with expectation that this window is going to be failure. And if I think the way this run will go, I just generally believe he's going to be gone by then. And you know what? I respect it if he leaves, to be honest. Like, at least you kind of stay into you. I would respect it more if he left after the summer window, because the way it ended, it was just pathetic. I knew from there,
Mhm.
okay, you know what? Let me see what's going on. Let's see what we can do. But I knew it was a letdown. It was a letdown, but he continued to stay. 6 months later, about that, it's went downhill. Like players don't even, I don't know. Like I don't watch the games no more. But from the feedback I get, bro, people tell me like guys don't even look like they wanna play. Is it now a thing of like because they all know he's probably going to be gone in 6 months?
Yeah.
Is it because
So they know they can kind of fold it in because he's not going to be there?
it's not or is this a thing of they know that he can literally just leave any moment. So it's just like, what's the point playing for him? So it creates all these type of things, and for me, that's why I say that's why I started off by saying I just believe there's a good chance he's gonna leave, but in this January window. But again, it goes all based on if these results go, and if the results go the way I think it go, and also if you're not gonna make signings as well. These are the two key things I think that can really force it. And one more thing I want to say on this is really it's funny because now obviously everybody's back to being Levy out, Enoch out, and I'm not saying I don't support it, but where was this energy after Conte was assigned? Where was this energy in the summer? Where every time this energy happens when we are on the bad run or we. Oh shit.
My bad. That's
No
me.
worries. No worries. Nah, it's every time when we're on a bad run, people want to come back to this, or when it looks like a manager's about to leave. But then, just one signing. Let's say we go and get Petro Paul from Sporting, the right wing back. Everybody's gonna shut up.
Who's Petrol Paul? What?
No, he's actually a footballer. He's the right wing back from Sporting.
Yeah, so why is he called Petrol Paul though? Isn't it? That's what I'm asking.
No, his name is Petro Poro.
Oh, I thought you said. All right, never mind. Did it? Never mind. Go on, carry on.
It's a German accent, isn't it? It's a language barrier.
Yeah, man. I legit thought he said Petrol Paul. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought he said.
No. By the way, he stole he actually stole Joe Felix's girlfriend.
Okay.
Joe Felix's girlfriend cheated on him to go with Petro Pro. So low key, if Joe Felix goes to United and we get paused somehow, hey, that matchup, I will be there no matter what. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Trust me. So all these fans, they are angry because we don't want to be serious. We haven't been serious for 20 years, but now they want to do this again when the manager's about to leave the club, or it looks like it. And trust me, one signing and then two good results against City and Arsenal, and we go progress against Portsmouth. These guys they're not gonna shut up again. And this is the issue that I have with people. Like, I don't have an issue with supporting these kind of movements because, again, I agree. The ownership been shit for years, bro. Like, I appreciate what they have done because you got to consider where Tottenham were before them. So you have to kind of appreciate it, but in the same way, where we got to a point where we got to a Champions League final, and the Champions League final was probably the worst thing happening to us. Ironically, because since then it's been a downhill because they thought, this team is actually good enough to just, and I think they've been in this limbo for so many years and believing, they don't need to invest, even though they didn't invest before that anyways. No, they give us limited investment anyways, because really and truly, even when you look at our numbers that we make from the stadium, concerts, NFL events, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, fucking the boxing, UFC, list goes on just from the stadium alone. And then the merchandise that we sell, the kids and everything, we make a lot of money. Like, even when it comes to just when it just comes from, when you know, what's the code again? At the end of the season, where like you see how much like a club has made after the season.
Oh, you're talking just basically the reports. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We are up there. So it's not a thing that we are broke. Like, United are broke at the moment based on the reports, and it kind of looks like it because they generally doesn't seem like they want to pay any money right now and they're looking for loans. We have money there. They just refuse to put it out there because they are just waiting because they're waiting for the most best possibilities to just cash out everything. That's why they want to just give the club minimal funding to make sure they can keep them as much money as possible, and then also sell the club at some point in a couple of years' time. This is the issue right now that we have right now. So I just believe Conte is going to be gone after this month personally, if I think it goes the way it goes, to be honest. And
right, cool.
I'm just telling man, like, just be prepared. And like, I'm not even really emotionally like upset about it like that. I think I'm just worried about the people that aren't ready for it. Like, there's generally people still believing, maybe things can turn around this is what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about these people generally. But yeah,
cool. You lot bump up the likes. Obviously, there's over 40 of you lot. Bump up the likes, share this across the socials, subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. I'm saying if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Big up to anyone who's listening via the audio platforms as well currently. Taza, what are you telling me? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you. Yeah, calm.
Yeah. Thank God we're no longer fucking Conte. Oh no, please, bro. Who cares, bro? Fucking.
We're going to yo. It's a question, man. About asking it. Could Conte last longer due to Spurs' involvement in the Champions League?
Shut up.
Go on,
Jess. Hold that, man.
Go on, Jess. Could Conte last longer due to Spurs' involvement in the Champions League? Do you think that has any impact?
No, because realistically, even if you beat AC Milan, we're not gonna win the Champions League. It's just that simple. Unless the team had actually had a general chance of winning the Champions League, then I would have probably said yes, he maybe stay just for that. But no, I personally already think we're losing to AC Milan, but I think AC Milan is the furthest we can go after that. We're out. So I just don't see. I don't think there's going to be much of a difference, to be honest. I just don't see it happening.
Well, sweet. All right. Like I said, we'll continue to get questions in. Continue to get your questions in. We'll continue to answer. Of course, Ryan. Why you would say this, I don't know. Flawless. We ain't brushing it under the carpet if City lose the league to Arsenal, no matter how many excuses Jan tries to make. You know me very well. When do I brush anything under the carpet, especially with rivals? You know me extremely well. Nothing's getting brushed under the carpet. The fact that everyone's trying to brush Neymar's World Cup under the carpet still doesn't sit well with me. And we're going to get back to that at the next international break. Because people are acting like that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Messi did his thing and Mbappe did his thing. But people are acting like Neymar didn't do his thing and it didn't fail again in the best team. He were the favorite. And he's one of the best players in the tournament. Now everyone's brushing it under the carpet that he went out to Croatia. Yeah, go on, Jess.
Even Cristiano got cooked. Everybody realized, that guy is cooked. Everybody got cooked that deserved to get cooked, in my opinion. Neymar's the only one that got away with it. He generally got away with it. I don't know how he did, but he got away with it.
Because he's aesthetically pleasing. The same way people will defend that winger who's got 12 league goals in 4 years. It's the same shit. That don't get defended anywhere else. If that's Timo Werner, he's getting butchered for that. Victor, what was Werner's record at your place? Was it something like that?
No, it was actually better. I think it was Havertz.
It was better. Yeah, but what was Werner's record though at your place? How many goals did he get over his 4-year period?
I think it was something like 20 something goals, wasn't it? Like 28.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? And he got butchered for that. But because it's a winger that people like and he went for a lot of money and he can do step overs and he's good on comments, people ain't gonna mention it. But because it's Timo Werner and it's easy to slander, that's what. Let that be Darwin Núñez. Let Darwin Núñez get 12 league goals in 4 years for Liverpool. You know what I'm talking about, people? People will bypass that. This is what I'm talking about. So to answer your... Yeah, go on, Victor. Go on.
People also forget that he had a stink in that game. Apart from that goal, he was quiet. When Messi and Mbappe, when the teams needed it, they were there. They showed up. And they dragged the team to the final. And then got to penalties and there's nothing they could do. And Messi and Mbappe took the first one to set precedent and be like, I'm the guy. I'm here to drag my team. Neymar didn't play well for the whole... Yeah, he got injured in the first game. But the first game, I don't remember him playing well as well. So, it's crazy to me. Just because he does step overs and he's friends with Ronaldinho and all this stuff, that's why he gets away with it. But if it was Havertz had more goals in the World Cup and Havertz got more slander. So I don't get it.
Because he did get injured, so that's where I kind of but just get past Croatia. But, like I said, international break, people, that Agenda FC will get reloaded. And we'll probably have the conversation on the Q&A as well. Flawless, why would you let Matisse and the rest cook Martial yesterday? He's clearly lacking much sharpness and he still had a decent all-round game lately. Because I'm not defending a player who played poorly. If you play poorly and rival fans get onto you, why am that stupid of me to defend you? That's just dumb. He didn't play well against Wolves. He didn't. So I'm not going to defend it. If he would have played well against Wolves, I'd be like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I defend him. But I'm not defending players who are giving me no argument to... He had a poor game. That was it.
I hate this, no one is far from criticism. Criticism doesn't mean that, you're a crap player, or you're shit, this, that, the other. Just criticism. You didn't play well. What's the big deal?
And he should have scored. And adding on top of that as well, Mo, the fact that I'm done with Martial doesn't help.
Yeah, this is also no more excuses. Now Ronaldo's even gone. He legit has no excuses anymore. Legit, like this is do or die for him. If he doesn't perform now, like he's just a one-season wonder in my opinion. That 1920 season, that's it.
And you know what upsets me even more about Martial is I don't even think it's a talent issue or a skill thing. It's because he can't get on the pitch. That's what frustrates
but he's
me the most.
on the pitch though. He's on the pitch.
But he's been outside of that, I don't think he's played poorly. I don't think he's played poorly. That was
the previous game he played poor, bro.
Against who? Forest.
Yes.
Forest. I don't think he was poor. I just don't think he was high.
Listen, the reason I say that is I have an expectation from Martial because I know what he's capable of and what he can do. Even without scoring a goal. So like I criticize players more harshly that I actually think are good. Like
no, that's fair.
He's not performing to his capability. So he didn't play well that game.
Well, but like because we're 2 games back and he's played well when he's been on the pitch this season. That's why I'm like, all right.
Yeah, cool. More or less, yes.
But my problem is him getting on the pitch. If he plays 35 league games this season, I'll probably show up about him. But I have zero faith in him doing that.
No.
I have zero faith in him staying fit
even doing that.
From now. I have zero faith in him staying fit from the 1st of January now to like the 1st of March. He'll get injured during this 2-month period. During the month of January, February,
how many games did you say? How many games did you say?
No, I didn't even say games. I said months. So I said from now, it's the 2nd of January technically. But let's say from the 1st of January to the 1st of March. I don't think he'll stay fit.
He can't even play more than 30 league games this season because there's only 22 left and he's only played 7.
Wait, say that again?
He cannot even cross if he played all 22 games for the rest of the season, Premier League games, because that's how many they're left. He would be on 29 if he played all 22.
Oh, seen. So yeah, and I don't even have faith in him playing 29 matches.
Yep. So it'll probably be like 25 to 24. Yep.
Not enough. The same way I said the same last season about Varane, because I think Varane played like 20. It was in the 20s. The same thing I said about Pogba season out. And these are players I rate and players. But if you're in a league, if you're in the Premier League, if you're only playing 25, 26 games, that's not enough.
You can't just 12.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about last season.
Yeah,
this season I have no complaints with him this season because he's not been injured like that. He's been available for most games. Like that's what it is. Rashford's been available more often than not. You know what I'm saying? And that like most players are. That's my problem with Martial. And clearly people are new here because most said Martial only had 1 or 2 bad games, 5 goals and 2 assists, same amount of goals as Jesus. I have no issue again with Martial's skill. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not a skill set thing. I think he's extremely talented. I think if he wasn't injury prone, he would put up numbers and put in good performances. I don't trust him to stay fit. I have more faith in him scoring a goal a game for this entire month than I do him staying fit for this entire month. I think that's more likely. I think a goal a game for him. I think say we play 6 games. I don't know how many it is. 6 games. Is more chance of him being 6-6 than him staying fit for this entire month of January. That's how much I don't have faith in just his injury record. And Saeed was at the game and he said, he was feeling his Achilles during the game. But he's probably not match fit. Like, and that adds into it. And Tagudi says the whole team didn't play well. Martial has to score for people to not scapegoat. No one's scapegoating him because no one else said the team did play well. I criticized the entire attack. But again, Goody, you're new. Welcome. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I said this on the watch along and I've said this afterwards. The whole attack needed to play better. I don't even think Rashford was all that outside of the 2 goals. The goal he scored and the disallowed goal. Outside of that, he wasn't great. Canacho wasn't good. Anthony wasn't good. Bruno wasn't good. Outside of the moment, Bruno for the goal, what did he really do? Like, and we had a couple chances. Like, that's how I'm looking at it. So, yeah. Yeah, Paul, that's what it is. Martial just Pogba in that sense. That's what I bang on about it all the time. Availability. If you're playing 25 league matches and it's 38 games, that's not enough.
Especially if you're supposed to be like an important player as well. Like he has the ability to be actually a really good and important piece of the team, but because of his availability and the lack of depth, now you're in a situation where like you are actually dependent on, but you cannot stay fit. So you not stay fit. Who are the people behind you? Alanga?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
we don't
see,
have another senior striker, just. We don't have
you know,
one.
This
So
the
that's
thing.
even more worry. We legit don't have a
Listen.
senior striker. It's makeshift. It's a Rashford. It's Ericsson in a false nine. Sancho, if he comes back in a false nine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that is. So, yeah, and Tagudi says, Flawless, I'm not new. I've been here since day one. Big up, I appreciate that. But if that's the case, then you would know that if you was here on the watch along, you would have heard me say that. If you would have seen me on Battle of the North, you would have heard me say that. If you would have seen me today on Saeed TV, I said that. I've said it here. No, that's what I'm saying. Don't bring what other people have said and say that's me. There's not no scapegoating. Martial wasn't good against Wolves. But yeah, go on, Taza. What are you saying?
See, this guy, Mo said Martial doesn't have a consistency problem. It's a fitness issue. I'm fuming that people don't rate his ability.
Don't
you know what the
Go
best
on.
part, availability is your best ability. That is part of your ability. If you're not available, your ability doesn't mean shit. If your ability is showing up 2 or 3 times in a season, then fuck your ability, because it doesn't matter. I would rather have someone else to do, because at least they're available consistently. Then I don't have to play a makeshift striker and Rashford up top. Martial gets injured at the start of the season. We play Christian Eriksen false nine and then Bruno Fernandes false nine. We lose those 2 first games. Martial is not fit. We have to play Cristiano Ronaldo up top, and he's missing chances left, right, and center. That is his problem. Like, no one's over here saying, "Oh, he's a shit player. This, blah, blah, blah." He's just not fit enough, and he consistently, he's been consistently not fit enough. Like, that's his problem. Like, that's his only thing he's consistent with, his injuries. The rest is not.
Isn't injury problems recent for Martial? He's always been this way, Shellington. Just check his appearance record.
Just go on transfer market. Just go transfer market. Type Martial and then just injuries. Yeah. Trust me, I looked at it. It's actually bad, man. It's bad.
It's bad.
Like, and that's the thing, as well, because I actually was watching a bit of the United game. And even a couple of other, you kind of see the momentum that United had before the World Cup is kind of going away. And this is where it's most important for not only just the starters, but also the squad players to be there and make an impact. And when you have a guy that you can't really rely on, be healthy, and then he ends up getting actually injured, the squad players don't perform. Even some of the starters are not performing, and no other players have to play even at a more intense level to even help out other players. Bro, this is what United could really downfall if they just really don't do anything in January. It actually could get peaked now.
Yeah,
I've seen the games. The result, obviously, you're getting the results and it's cool, but in the same time, it's you can't keep relying on this without any help coming in. Because this can backfire.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I would never, like I said, I would never doubt that man's ability and talent, because he has everything in terms of striker. There isn't anything you can ask for. But the key thing that you don't have is availability. That's it. And that's why I've said sign 2 strikers. So to this question for Flawless, do you mind Martial staying at the club as long as there's competition for him? I'd keep him because his all-round game and link up with the wingers is so important to unlock others. I'd sign 2 strikers regardless, because I think we need 3. If he was to leave, I wouldn't be like, we're losing Martial. I wouldn't actively try and sell him. But if somebody made a good bid for him, I'm cool with that. I'm like, you know what? I'd let him go. Because we need strikers anyway. We need 2. I've said this for the longest, we need 3 strikers, 2 minimum. So all this talk of people talking about this window about, they don't want to makeshift or they don't want a backup. We need a backup striker because we don't have one. It's not like we have one and he's not good enough. We have no backup striker, people. Manchester United have 1 senior striker and we're in 4 competitions. We're playing the 3rd, we play the 6th, we play the 10th, I think then the 14th, then the week after. There's games thick and fast across 4 competitions. February is going to be packed. There could be 2 Europa League ties. So you could get the playoff tie, and then that save month is the next round. So that's 4 games. And then you could have a potential Carabao Cup semi-final and a Carabao Cup final, like FA Cup game, and 4, 5, 6 Premier League games in a month, people. At the games of today, you're talking 10, 11, 12 games potentially in a month. And we have 1 senior striker who is injury prone. It's not like he has a Bruno Fernandes type injury record. I'd be worried if he had Bruno's availability. Because I'm like, then I'd be like, all right, what about loss of form? What about competition for places and all of these things? So that's why, again, back to the original question that Mo asked about, why I let the guys on Battle of the North. Yo, defend yourself. That's why I don't defend Sancho. I defend him from the mental standpoint, like in terms of, because we don't know what's going on. So if he's mentally not right, that's nothing to do with football. But from a footballing perspective, I won't defend him because his performances haven't been up to scratch. However, I discussed it on Man United. I want him to play central because I was saying it on Man United, and I say it here, is now football is now an athlete's game. It's athletic as forward players. There's very few successful players in the Premier League and in Europe at the highest end who aren't athletic or don't have P&P, which is pace and power people, and aren't successful. There ain't like people in the Man United when I was doing that show, we're trying to name them, and everybody they were naming had P&P. Man was naming Vinicius Jr., St. Maximin. These are P&P guys. Neymar, quick. I'm saying, like, when you don't have P&P, you're not athletic. You know what you get? Havertz. You know what you get? Sancho. And we see these players struggle. Grealish, Ziyech. The list goes on. And I'm not saying you have to have those attributes, people, to be successful. But what I'm saying is if you don't have them attributes, you have to be exceptional. And you have to be Benzema levels in other areas, is what I'm saying. That was I have my issues about, my concern, about João Felix. Even though I would sign him, I want him on loan. But that's just me. Well, others might think different. But it's an athlete's game. The only one I can think of who actually is at the highest level is Maris, who don't have those things. He's the only one that I can think of. And like I said, maybe the chat will come up with some, because when we was trying the other day, it was literally him. And then man was talking about Benzema and Lewandowski, like two of the best strikers on the planet. They're the exception to the rule. Where else I'll answer this, and then Victor, will go to you I know you want to get things off your chest about the Chelsea result today. The news on Ten Hag taking over the reserves and checking in on talent coming through can only be a positive, right? Flawless thoughts. Love this. This is music to my ears. It can only be a positive. To me, this should be implemented wherever you go, at whatever level you're at. I don't care if it's Premier League, if it's Championship, if it's the conference. Your first team and every team underneath that should play the same way. Because then when the youth players make the jump up, it's the same shit. So if you play 4-2-3-1, all the youth teams should play 4-2-3-1. If you play 4-3-3, the same. If you play back three, the same, etc. Thank you, Flawless. You're allowed to, just to get to this, you're allowed to criticize your better players, particularly if they're injury prone. But when I talk about Lizzo, James being fat and not having an ACL, Chelsea fans attack me because you enjoy talking about it. That's why, Prime. It's the way, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But you say it with a big grin on your face and when it's nothing to do with nothing as well. And you enjoy it. You just like winding people up because you're a wind-up merchant, Prime. And I respect it. You know what I'm saying? But you're a wind-up merchant. That's why Chelsea fans don't want to hear it. That's why Timo's shaking his head because he knows what you're like. You're just a wind-up. But Victor, we'll go to you. Actually, before we do, Timo, quick, you was there today. Thoughts on the game, actually. I forgot you was there.
So, first and foremost, since Prime asked me how's Nottingham Forest away day, it was nice. Decent away pubs. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it was not a good second half, I would say. I think we wasted a lot of chances. After the first goal, we wasn't the same team.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't. In that second half, someone posted on Twitter about the stats. 0 shots on target, zero shots overall. And then you have 46%. Nottingham Forest by far the best second half team, by far. But I just think the problem goes way beyond deeper than the people would really think about us. There are, I would say, about few players in our team who are both technical and athletic at the same time. But in this modern game of football, you cannot guarantee success, and that's the issue. Yes, Potter hasn't been perfect, but has everyone suddenly made him the scapegoat for how awful this squad actually is? Let's remember, guys, go back to last year again. Thomas Tuchel was getting attacked by some of our fans just before his sacking. oh shit, we're gonna sack another manager less than 3 months into the job. That's not gonna work, is it? Absolutely not. First thing, the teams look terrible. Yes, you can say Tuchel's back, but there is a balance to be found in the remaining as competitive as possible while we are in transition. And Chelsea are clearly not getting as much out of the squad as they need to. But let's not forget, several members of the squad are to be blamed for that anyway.
Fez. Well, Fez. Big up managers, well, I see you.
Yeah, for good or bad, Potter has completely doing the job's security. It makes no sense for him to stick to the same old players when it's painfully obvious they're not delivering.
Yeah.
If I was Potter, if he wants to go to that experienced route, it's not going to end well for him. But then, if the plan really is to rebuild, and is guaranteed regardless of where the team finishes this season, then you can actually rebuild. Trim the fat, look at the passengers, evaluate your options. It's not about the market. And it can be done. It can be done.
Oh, Fez. Victor, what are you saying? I'm saying, because you was in the chat for the watch along. You was like, yo, I need to jump on the Q&A. The floor is yours, my brother.
We need to.
Yo, you're on mute. Yeah, go on.
I'm sure. Okay, hear me now.
Yeah. Man can hear you. Yeah.
Peter's come on this channel and said a lot of times that this team stinks, and then people seem to not believe that after one game, not even one game, one first half against Bournemouth, that we seem to be back. I was hearing top 4 shouts, 6 points behind Spurs, blah. After 145 minutes against Bournemouth, which is literally the worst team in the league.
Generation, the talent is back. Havertz and Mount.
Literally, Mount's back. Havertz is back. And I said I was in a group chat, yeah, and they were cooking, man. I said, chill out. It's only Bournemouth. And it was after the first half as well. The game wasn't over. I was like, chill out. It's only Bournemouth. What's all this positivity for? Like, chill out. And everyone was calling me negative, saying, oh, yo, doom and gloom. Oh, just positive for once. We've been here before. We were here last season. We've been here before. This team stinks. Like, this team is terrible. Zakaria, I was seeing people say Zakaria should stay in the team. We should keep Zakaria for one more year. He's not played a full 90 minutes since he's got here. He's physically not fit, and technically on the ball, he's terrible. He's literally as bad as Bakayoko on the ball. And people still believe that he's a player that will come in our midfield and we should stay for an extra year. And we're trying to build for something even better. This fan base needs some humbling and needs some help. I hope this season will be it, because now they're shouting Tuchel's name and Potter to get sacked. Tuchel's not going to make Havertz have a shot on targets. Tuchel's not going to make Mount actually turn and find a good pass. I'm saying Pep Guardiola can't even fix his team. No manager, you can bring Pep, you can bring Klopp, you can bring Ancelotti as the backroom staff, and our team will still be shit. There is no saving this team. Aspilicueta is playing right back in 2023. This is the start of 2023. Aspilicueta is in our team.
Impressed.
Like, this actually stinks. And people just want to believe that. Well, people just want to believe that this season we're going to get top 4 or we're going to do whatever. I was saying Champions League final. What Champions League final? This year.
Wait, people were saying Chelsea Champions League final this year. Was that you, Timo? Were you one of them people? Just making sure. I'm just asking. You said wow. I'm just making sure. Go on, Vic. Carry on.
Hey, man, Victor, man, we're going to be battling out for the Conference League spot. Don't worry about it, man.
Bro, keep me in 8th. I don't care, bro. I will stay in my humble 8th. I will take 8th and go home. 8th and go home. I cannot do another fucking Zagreb away or fucking San Marino away. Like, this team, we're too good for that.
You won't even see those teams. You will see. Just me. I've been there. If I'm like you're gonna see CSKA, Sofia, them man. not even the San Marinos, not even the Zagrebs. Like,
bro,
come on.
I rather we stay at home and play Middlesbrough away. It's peak. I rather we stay home and play Middlesbrough away, because this team, people actually don't believe that this team stinks. After that first goal, we had no shot on target in the second half against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, facts.
Is no one deep in it, so is it only me that's pissed? Against Nottingham Forest. Yes, to beat Liverpool.
Timo was there. He was pissed. He was there. We're going.
Well, team, I feel sorry for you. I honestly do. You went all the way to Nottingham to watch that shit. Honestly, I do feel sorry for you. And then we're going to play City back to back with the Haaland back to back hat-trick incoming.
I'm going to be there anyway.
And then this team, and these man want to stay here and be positive and believe. And people just think Enzo Fernandez is going to come in and fix our whole mess completely.
Fuck you, bro.
What kind of fairyland is fucking Chelsea fans living in? Like what's this? What's going on? We should just stay 8th this season, take a humble pie and move on. We can't sack a manager three months in after you cost the manager when it was 2 games in the start of the season, and then said you want him back. That's revisionism on the highest order, because you man wanted him out. And guess what? The performance still stinks under 3 managers now. Some players have been under 3 managers and they still stink. So do the maths. 2 times 2, what does that mean? They're shit. You're shit. Get out. I want Mount. Mount cannot get a 5-year. If Mount gets a 6-year contract in this club, honestly, I might just sell my membership and all that stuff. I might not stop supporting the team. Because Mount cannot take the team. Mount cannot play in the team and move forward in this team anymore. Because he played shit. And no one can tell me otherwise. You can try to argue, but he played shit. He tried to do this Ronaldinho thing, this forward thing, where he gets the ball and try to dribble when there's a player right in front of you. You're shit. Just pass the ball. You can't dribble. Just pass the ball. Do it into the center, find the pass. Oh my God, this team just stinks. And then you bring in players after you concede when there's 20 minutes left. What do you want them to do? You should put the players before. At least she house the 1-0 win and we move on. But you can't even do that because this team stinks. A 38 Thiago Silva was pushing 40. Has to still carry out the team. And then you might still think we're going to push on. And then you're blaming the manager as if this has happened to 2 managers before. As if this wasn't the problem 2 managers before. We spent 100 million on the attack and spend so much money on the defense. We still can't score goals and we're still conceding goals. And so I don't know what you want. I don't know what else you need. What else, maybe you need to write it down in a board, and someone needs to fucking come on and just bullet point every single thing so you might actually open your eyes and see the real problem in this team. Our team and the structure before then stinks. How you going?
First, go on, Timo.
Number 1. Some of our fan base has been spoiled with success. That's number 1. Number 2, I would say this: when you honestly look at it, pretty much all of our summer songs have been underwhelming considering their price tags. Only one guy has not been underwhelming on the pitch. That is Wesley Fofana, mainly because he's injured anyway. But I would say this: I like Enzo. I've been hyping up Enzo for weeks now, but I'm just still unsure if it's this.
He's not fixing our problem.
He's not exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Enzo's good in the first 2/3, but he's not a final third player. You guys need stuff in the final third. You guys don't create chances for shit. I don't know how. And also, firstly, the price that's being quoted for Enzo is crazy. It's ludicrous in my opinion. 130 million for him is you guys know Flawless knows how much I wanted Enzo at United. I wouldn't pay $1 over 85 to 90 million for him.
You said this, before you continue, one set, Taza. Taha, just relax, man. It's calm, no stress. You lot in the chat, just chill out. Just relax. You know what I'm saying? Get your questions in.
It's a new year.
Relax, man.
First Q&A of the year. Relax.
First Q&A of the year, and you lot are wilding in the chat. Just chill out, relax. You know what I'm saying? Now I've had to cut off Taza just to say this. Relax.
I just got, bro. I actually discovered supermods. They actually got new type of supermods, but you don't need no more to use the tools to open. You can just twist it now, bro. Where has it been? I swear,
this is bad funny, yo. This is bad funny, nah. This is bad funny. Big up to my G Lewis, 110%. And he says, "Happy New Year, everyone. We're fucking shit." You know what, Lewis? Hold that, fam. Hold that. But go on, Taz, and say what you're saying.
Oh yeah, you went to the game too. I need to watch that.
You almost didn't get there, but you almost didn't get there, but you wish he didn't. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go on, Taz, and say what you were saying. My bad. I thought you were.
Yeah, no, all good. You know how much I love Enzo. I've been wanting him at United, and I've literally been just simping for him, bro. Like he's an amazing player because he would solve our problems. Our problems is not creativity; it's getting the ball to the creative players from the defense. So like in the Ericsson role, because as good as Ericsson is, he's not really reliable like that over a 38 game period, playing every single game. So, you know, Chelsea's problem, in my opinion, is not that. Their problem is creating chances. You guys don't create for shit. Like you have how many? You have 20 goals. Like that's it. I mean,
Something
granted,
like that.
United only have 24 goals as well, but we've lately been much better. And you guys are not good. So I think like going for an attacking midfielder or another attacker would do you guys better. But like because you need a 10, you need like a James Madison, like
We need
like
They
a
one.
need to. They
Martin.
need to trust him. They need to trust him.
Martin Odegaard type player, like you guys need that,
Bro,
You need a
even
lot.
McAllister would do something.
bro.
Victor, how
He
many
would-
players do you think you need? Victor, let me ask you, how many players do you think you need? Because you said the whole team stinks, you're terrible, it's not on
The whole
par
team
because of the
stinks.
players. So you're just saying like pretty much like a pretty much whole new 11. By
I
like,
disagree with
Thiago's
that.
name
Apart
out.
from Reece
Reece
James,
James,
everyone needs to
Chelsea.
go.
Okay.
Apart from Reece
So
James,
would you
everyone
all right?
else
So
needs
let
to
me
go.
ask you: Would you keep any? Would you keep any of the first team players that are currently in your first team as squad players?
Probably Silva because again it's 39 next year. He can't play all the games, so it will be better. Cucurella, I think him and Chilwell will switch, so I guess he'll be a good bench option. I guess Mount can be good on the bench, and then it can come on in like 20 minutes and play. Mount and Gallagher can't work. Either you sell one or you keep one because they're both not good quality enough to start for Chelsea. And maybe Jorginho as well should be on the bench, should at least a squad player. So I think we need at least 15 new players.
Okay. First,
The problem is
and
that
Bro,
before you
our
carry on,
fans
because
are
Lewis
saying-
says
Victor.
one sec, Prime. I'm gonna let you go. You good
It's-
though, anyway. First and foremost, you good.
Easier than
this guy's internet, bro. It's New
You
Year,
good,
same
Prime?
fucking prime.
Jesus Christ. Hey,
Yo,
kick-
I'm
kick
about.
him
I'm
in.
a legit. You know what? Yo, Prime.
Kick him.
You know what I'm gonna
I
do?
mean,
I'm
I'm-
legit gonna buy you. Prime. I'm gonna
I'm
buy you an
good.
Ethernet cable
I'm
and send it to you. I swear down.
good.
I swear on my life.
I'm
This guy.
So annoying.
You're breaking up,
Yeah,
Prime.
Yo, bro, we can't
I'm-
hear you, bro. We cannot hear you, dog.
It is.
Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop,
Lewis
beep.
said.
Hey, hello.
This guy. Yeah. You lot questions again. There's just under 60 of you lot locked in, which is great. Hit the like button if you're watching live on the YouTube.
I
Hit the
didn't say
like button.
anything.
Subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you do that. Yo, Prime, you're breaking up. Can I say something? Go on. Yo. Nah, you can't.
Yeah,
to
bro.
Lewis who says
Yeah,
Mason Mount and
just
Kai
kick his
Havertz.
ass. Fuck.
Mason Mount and Kai
I was gonna
Havertz
say this.
muddied the
I was
haters.
gonna say this. Go
Go
back
on.
to that. Say about
Go
the
on.
details and what's wrong in the squad. Apparently, people always say like, "Oh, it's always the manager's fault." We have complete a mess from top to bottom, and the problem is that our fans have been angry about the results and performance. They need to be comfortable with their reality check because that's what we have left. And if I don't like it either, but at the moment it's just like just go through, just suck it up. You don't want this change.
Nah, because you know
Nah,
this team.
nah.
Well,
It's
some
of them
it's
want
it's still on the manager though. I'm not hearing that. Like Potter's not getting off scot
No,
free.
it's not.
Like
No, it's
these
not.
guys. Hear me out, Caroline.
I'm not.
Can I
Let him land. Go on, let him land. And then you man can respond. Let him land. Go on, Tarzan.
Listen. When Rashford was out and Alanga was shit, what did Ten Hag do? He brought up academy players. Legit, like you know Mount and Havertz are playing like shit, but he consistently plays them. You could switch it around. You could play Ziyech. He had a great World Cup. Like switch something around, but like the definition of insanity, if you go and look in the dictionary, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Potter's playing the same lineup again and again and again. Bro, like, if you're not going to change shit up, it's not going to change, brother. Like, what do you expect? Like, I don't like these tactics, like everything, everyone could, blah, 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 all this hype. Bro, he's continuing to play the same players. All this Potter ball bullshit, Like, if you play Mount and
Hey,
Havertz,
calm.
what are you gonna do? Like, I question his intelligence. That's why I question Ralph Ragnick's intelligence. This guy was talking all this shit, but continued to play Maguire and McFred every week. Like, that's why I'm not on the Ralph Ragnick hype. Like, that's why I'm not on the like. Why are you playing Mount? Like, Ten Hag came in, boom, McFred dropped, Maguire dropped. You can't tell me there's no one in the Chelsea team and the Chelsea academy that can now replace them.
What I would say to that is what you said in regards to Ten Hag dropping players. Why I give Graham, even though I think he should be doing better with the squad he has, even though I don't think it'll be much better, he hasn't had the chance to bring in any of his signings yet. He's had no chance to. That's where I defend him and say, okay,
exactly.
I'll give you some. Like, once you have one window and say he brings in 3-4 players, then I think you look at it and go, all right, those 4 players at least should be playing at a higher level, which then helps the team perform at a higher level. Well, yeah, that team is one of them. I don't think they have a team that fits the system.
I have a question.
Again, like Ross just said.
Listen, is Luke Shaw a Ten Hag signing? Is Luke Shaw a Ten Hag signing?
You're right. Yeah.
Is Victor Lindelof a Ten Hag signing?
No. Yeah.
Is Rafa Varane a Ten Hag signing?
No,
but
he is class. But
these
but
these guys are playing over him. Like,
I get your point, but like the player who you just mentioned there in terms of Varane, obviously we know Varane's class, and Victor mentioned it about Thiago Silva, Reece James played well. The problem is these players are not good, and also with Graham Potter as well. Why I won't get onto him as well. We are finding out how good he is. This is his shot at the big time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's performed at every level lower, and now he's got his shot at Chelsea. How good is Graham Potter? I don't know, because when he was at Brighton, he was seen as the best of the rest, or in that bunch, and rightfully so, because of the job he done at Brighton, jobs he'd done previously. So now this is his opportunity. I agree with you. He should be doing better with what he has, but I don't think the ceiling is that high, and I think he'll be judged more next season and the season after, depending on what he does. We'll see.
I agree, but bro, also another point, bro, his press conferences are all bad. Bro, the quotes I be seeing on this guy, oh my lord, bro. You guys just fuck the media, bro. Just keep paying him for free. Like, don't do these press conferences, bro. It's not his thing.
I don't really care about press conferences, man.
I'm just saying, man.
Like the thing is, yeah, he's kind of transitioning with us, so it kind of doesn't help. Like this is a massive, all respect to Brighton. Like, you're a good team, but from the drop from Brighton to Chelsea is quite massive. So if you think about it, he's also kind of learning on the job. So kind of just have to give him the time, at least the season, to do his own thing. Right now, the whole club is in transition, and you have to put Potter in that bracket, unfortunately. If it was Tuchel, maybe we had a completely different conversation right now. But because Potter is, had that big jump and is now here, I think you just have to give it time. And the press conferences thing, I told you, I don't really care. Like, if you win me games, Fergie wasn't really great at press conferences, was he? Sometimes he didn't turn up to them. But guess what? He's 30 Premier League titles. Like, it doesn't matter. So,
yeah.
And also,
what's the thing? No, you can do it.
Oh. Yeah, also you were saying that you should drop. Oh, gone.
No, I just want to say quickly, sorry, because I think there's a delay on my bad, but what I wanted to say is that, like,
Victor, but we can hear him, so it's cool.
Oh, Victor, yeah, okay.
That's all.
Because what's it called? What I want to say is Potter is like, it's pretty much what I also Flores was saying, but I also just feel like he coming into an environment as well where, like, your fan base just don't have the patience. This is something I said, like, are they really? Of course, it's going to be cute at the beginning because everybody wants. It was cool to be Tuchel out. It was cool to be Tuchel out. Fucking Tuchel, he doesn't know what he's doing, and you wanted something fresh. Well, this is what Chelsea fans been used to, and now you got something fresh, as in terms of manager, but on the field, it's pretty much the same thing, really. And even with Potter, it's like, I believe in his coaching ability as a manager, but is there pressure? I don't think there is pressure. So now that, for me, it seems like that Bowley is not putting immense pressure on him to even at least finish in the top 4. He is like, okay, you know what? Let me continue playing Mount. Let me continue using Havertz, because maybe he sees himself using them later, even next season. I don't know. Who knows?
I said this though. when he was linked with the job, I said this. Remember, I said that these fans, when we go through a rocky period, these fans won't back him. They'll turn on him quite easily.
I've seen somebody.
And I
on
also
the
said,
timeline.
sorry, I also said that these players, because I don't rate Potter highly, I haven't. But these players are supposed to help him out in difficult situations. I don't blame Potter for everything. I think what he's doing the best that he possibly can.
100%.
The players at his disposal. If a Champions League winning manager couldn't do anything, I don't expect him to. But these players need to help him. These players that get praised up, that get hyped, they should be helping him. They should be able to break down in Nottingham Forest low block. They should be able to batter Bournemouth. We shouldn't be getting pulled apart by teams left, right, and centre. I don't blame Potter because we get rid of Potter. Then what happens? We can bring back Fergie. Fergie's not doing anything with the squad.
Now he would rip the squad apart, and the thing is,
exactly,
and this is the point, because this is where, like, and I don't believe it's anything like here on this channel, my awareness as well, but players' agenda. Yes, you can see the energy of certain people, how they go towards certain players of a team, and put more expectation in terms of them just to look like they failing because they don't meet the expectation of certain players. And I feel like with Chelsea fans, they do this a lot. They're willing to go and throw. They're willing to throw everybody else down to protect someone else. And you have it for Havertz. You will have it for Mount. You will have it for Kepa. You will have it for Silva. You will have it. And the thing is, and I'm not even saying it's particularly wrong, because maybe some people may go overboard with the hate for certain players.
No.
But the issue now, before we go in, just want to say that. But the issue is that Chelsea fans has to all put your agenda aside for what player you love and realize overall as a team, there's no team cohesion. The team stinks. The players don't look like they actually want to play with each other. Like, there's a rebuild, but maybe in terms of names and quality, on paper it looks great, but in reality, it's really meaty on the pitch, very bad. It's not threatening whatsoever. Like I'm probably more scared. I'm more scared of playing Brighton right now than I'm scared of playing Chelsea. Person, because Brighton, I know what this is about.
Even on paper, we don't look good. When you list our starting 11. It doesn't look good. Let's just be honest.
I hear what you're saying, but
your attack is very weak. Your attack is mid-table.
Meaty.
Not even that.
But I'm talking about when you see. I'm talking about the star guys. I'm particularly talking more about the star guys because we know about Havertz and Mount. I'm talking about when you see Reece James on the team, his team sheet. Everybody. Hold on.
Let him land and then you can respond, Prime.
I was saying, when you see guys like Reece James on the team sheet, when you see Thiago Silva on the team sheet, or your opinion on type these guys, let's be honest, everybody was kind of shocked that Chelsea got Cucurella. Everybody was shocked that Fofana was coming in. Everybody was shocked that Koulibaly was coming in. Everybody was shocked when Sterling came for that cheap. I know maybe they're not performing now, but I'm talking about in terms of paper. These are big names which are
but Jez, on paper,
but on pitch, they just stink. And even
Jez, you want to talk about on paper?
Even in midfield, obviously Chelsea fans don't rate Jorginho. I actually do still rate him. Mateo Kovacic, I still rate him. Like I said, if your team is actually healthy, and when you look at it on paper, even though there is some very mid players there are really good players in terms of name. But when they're playing on the pitch, I just don't believe they're playing well. But
Jez, your football is not based on when everyone's fit. It's the same argument United fans had about Pogba.
And that's true.
In the group chat. Our 11 this season is Kepa in goal, he's a decent goalkeeper at his best. We've got a right back who is either Aspilicueta or Ruben, because I know I make fun about Reece James, but he's injured so much that he cannot be really considered a starter. Let's just be honest. Our centre back is Thiago Silva, who is 38. Yes, he's world class, but he's probably his last season. Koulibaly, who is playing like he's a kid or whatever. Cucurella or Chilwell. Yeah, but on the pitch he's not playing well. I rate Cucurella.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Chilwell doesn't look
that's
good.
his whole point.
But that's my point on paper. That's
finish.
my point. Even on paper, the 11 does not look good. Zachariah, I haven't really been that impressed with him. I think he's been okay. And our other midfielder is Mason Mount. I like Jorginho, but he's being burnt out because he's constantly being overplayed. Like our team is. That's why for me, and the other point you were talking about, player hives. That's why for me, I keep saying, get rid of everyone, because in one way or another, when you look through every player in the squad, they have some sort of player hive and they divide this fan base. Kepa, Jorginho, Mount, Havertz, I can name more. For some reason, these players just pull apart and divide the fan base for good or bad. So let's just get rid of them. I'd rather start fresh.
Let me get to this question.
Man.
Just one sec. Let me get to this question, and that you lot continue to get your questions in as well. Is it the system formation that's wrong with Chelsea as much as anything? For example, look at Gallagher. Terrible with Chelsea, brilliant at Palace, best player there. Victor, we'll go to you on this. What do you look at with this? Like you mentioned Gallagher, who was good at Palace, but he's bad at Chelsea.
I think Palace is his level. I don't think his level is any higher than that. Because there's no game I've seen of Gallagher. Yeah, I don't think there's any game I've seen of Gallagher and I've been like, oh yeah, that's a good game. I don't remember last game a good game Gallagher I've seen in the Chelsea shirt. Maybe and Swansea, them man, his level. I don't know.
Okay, so do you think if you had a better system, you know what I'm saying? Like you had a better system, these players, it wouldn't improve results and improve these players' performances that much?
My honest opinion, no, because Mount and Gallagher basically the same player. Mount and Gallagher basically the same player, and having too much of something is, if I say too much of something is bad for you. You can't have two managers press, and then there's no technical ability. There's no like forward passing, or there's no even dribbling like step overs. We're crying for step overs in the team. There's no step overs. I've not seen a player take a man on, do a step over, take a man on.
Flawless, may I ask you a question? You say a different system, but like, what exactly does that mean? I know that sounds like a stupid question. But what does that mean? Because Tuchel had the same players. Tuchel for the past calendar year, 2022, he was switching between a back three, a back five, playing a 3-man midfield, a 2-man midfield, playing with a front three, a front two. He played a back four at times. Potter's now in. He's played a back four. He's played a back three, back five. He's played a diamond. He's played a 3-4-3, a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2. We've played so many different formations, played so many different systems, counter-attack, possession football, all-out attack. We've played so many different styles with these players. The same results happen. We go on a little mini bounce for a game or two, and they fall apart. So what more can we do?
When I say that, it's the bounce, because you mentioned it there, bounce. One, I was probably expecting a bit more of a bounce with Graham Potter, just with a new manager going in, and what Tuchel did initially. More so that, because what Tuchel did initially, I think is severely underrated in your team. I'm saying when he first got to Chelsea, and what he did. And like, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe not that level, but something around that, because it's the majority. Obviously, AC left, Rudiger left, but to my knowledge, it's pretty much the same team. Pretty much.
Yeah, but
minus those two.
With Tuchel, right? If people really look into our results in the league weren't that great. They eventually, I think by the time we lost to Arsenal 1-0, our results started falling apart. The only thing that kept us going forward is the fact that we had a Champions League semi-final to look forward to, and we kept pushing. Like, people keep in mind, we lost, I think, on our final day. We got top four because Spurs won, and then we lost, and then we lost the FA Cup final. We fell apart, but the Champions League final kept us going on. Then we won that, and that momentum and the hype around the whole club carried us for a few months into the season. Then we fell apart by November. Anyway,
the thing with
one
last thing. There's also like the beauty of playing the same system over and over. Like I'm always seeing like Chelsea playing a different formation every day. Like, pick one thing and stick with it. As much as we didn't think initially Arteta was a guy, like, he's been playing the same system when he got his guys over and over. He got 8th, 5th, and now he's top of the league. So there is a beauty in playing the same system over and over again until it works. Like you make it work at the end of the day. Like every day there's a new formation. Like Ten Hag, his principles, what they were, even though we got battered 6-3 by City, we played the same shit and it's working. Like
Are you
a
bringing in
result,
context though?
a
Because with
result here and
Arteta,
there, a result here and there is not the be all end all. Like I think like
no.
stuff is working for Potter, but then something goes wrong and then he just completely changes it
No,
around.
but
Like
Murtaza,
he's
you're
not
not bringing
sticking
in
to
any
something.
context. Because Arteta, in his first 6 months, year
I
and
know
a
he
half,
played a back
he was
five. I'm talking
yeah,
after that,
but
brother.
but he was
I'm
allowed to
talking
get
after
rid of.
that.
But he was allowed to get rid of players. Ten Hag
That's
this
fair.
summer was allowed to bring in. Is it Casemiro,
Yeah.
Anthony, and Martinez
Yeah.
and Ericsson? I guess he was allowed
Yeah.
to bring in his own players, get rid of a bunch of guys, and now he's forcing his system amongst you guys. He's forcing this whatever you guys are doing, and players who aren't good enough. Maguire, he's allowed to drop him. Ronaldo, he was allowed to drop him, and now he's gone in January. Potter's not been allowed to do any of that, partly
What do you
because he
mean
hasn't
not?
even been given the window.
And no,
He
when he
hasn't.
says
Well,
not
Potter
allowed,
hasn't been
he's
given the window for
yeah,
one,
yeah. And
and
that's so easy to
two,
cut you off,
I
Prime.
don't
That's what
know.
I said. Go on, carry
Yeah,
on, carry
one,
on.
he hasn't been given the window, and two, I don't know if Potter has the. If Potter is allowed to, I don't know how to word it, like drop Mount and Havertz and what that would do. I don't know if he would have the backing from the fans and the owner to drop him out for the rest of the season and not play him. Because you guys did it with Ronaldo,
I heard
and
actually
even though
I heard what you're saying.
and even though Ronaldo has his fanboys, he was allowed to do it with Ronaldo and stamp his authority. I don't know if Potter can do that.
He was given the backing because of your new
Yeah.
owners. You're unsure if this
Yeah.
is going to happen. There's a lot of question marks over your team. So what you're saying is that's why, like when I look at it, I go, I can't criticize. This ain't your team. These are not
Exactly.
your
I
guys.
don't
Minus
blame Potter.
Cucurella, none of these are your guys in it. Like, could you argue he should maybe do better? Yes, cool. But I don't think it's that. I don't think your Potter being better from a Premier League trophy or a Champions League trophy. I don't think the difference
and
is.
people
This is
say
again for the
he's
outside
better.
looking in. I don't think
Potter
it is.
went
Go on.
Potter went on a 10-game unbeaten run where he beat one of the biggest clubs of all time, home and away, in the Champions League. Like he went on a good run, and then it fell apart. And these players stopped performing. So what more do you want him to do?
Prime, the sad thing about
before
this
you
as well
continue,
is
just one sec. Yo,
yeah.
Scott, you good? You blessed and everything, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
man,
Didn't
yeah,
watch the
Scott,
game, but I was kind of keeping up with it.
Nah,
Big up,
cool.
brother.
Okay. I'm glad you're here actually, because I do want to hear your thoughts on what's being said. So, well, you lot continue to get your questions in. No, it don't have to be Chelsea related. It don't have to be Manchester United related. It may be Spurs, it may be another team in the Premier League, certain player, certain manager, or another sport. But you lot have to ask us questions, because if you don't, then we just go on tangents, people. And that's what happens. You can't make statements. You know what I'm saying? Like Mo, I'm going to address this because he said this like 3 or 4 times, but he's not asked me a question. Well, let's get to it, clearly. So for Flawless, I want Donny starting over Bruno. The more he starts, the more effective he will become, and the more fluid the passing and pressing will be. Passing will be. Bruno is ridiculously erratic and is a fraud. Personally, I want neither of them, I'm saying, to be our starting tens. We need to improve on that area. Is Bruno currently... But Bruno should be starting right now because he is the best 10 we have currently right now in the squad. And that's what it is. And that's the fact that I'm saying that is more why Manchester United are where we are, even though we are improving, because Bruno's not... Has he performed? Abdi said that Bruno's been all right recently. His form's been decent. I'm not even going to dispute that. His form has actually been decent to good. But just because you're on a decent run of form doesn't necessarily... I'm not going to turn around and go, oh, you're now a good player, you're now a great player. Like, consistency is key. That's what brings you titles, people. Even in the Champions League, which is a cup competition, you have to put together the group stages, 6 games, and then you have the knockout ties. You have to put a run of good games together. When you look at the Champions League, 90% of the teams that win it put together good form. What I'm saying is the occasional is your anomaly. Premier League's 38 games a season. You have to be consistent. You being good for 5 games or 10 games or 15 games or even 25 games is not enough in a 38-game season. Manchester City are juggernauts. The reason why they've won 4 leagues out of the last 5 years is because their team and their players perform 9 times out of 10 over a 38-game a season. You can probably count on one hand the amount of bad performances they've put in. And when you look at sides that have won Premier League titles, it's the same. So that's what it is with Bruno, even though he's in good form. But to get back to your original point, I don't want either of them. And that's the area we need to improve on. But
I
hopefully,
can't lie.
Bruno proves me wrong and his form continues, and I can go, all right, maybe we can work. But I still see deficiencies in his game. But I don't think Donny is the answer. That's just me. But go on, Scott.
Also, I can't lie. For me, your best 10 is playing as an 8 because your 8s suck.
Hey, Fess, that's a fair point. You know
But I'm
what?
not gonna lie.
That's a fair point.
Your best number 10, in my opinion, is playing with a pacemaker in his chest and plays
Yeah.
as an 8.
Yeah. He plays an 8. That's a fact. Ericsson would do a better. That's how good Ericsson is that he's a better 6 and an 8 than all of our 6s and 8s, apart from Casemiro, and he's a better 10 than all our 10s. That's how
Our
light
best
we are.
10 is at Leverkusen right now.
Who's your best 10?
Cho.
Talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi.
I thought you talking about, are you Cho Hive or no Hive? Right? Do your thing, fam.
No, I'm
The no hype.
saying.
Come on.
No,
And
actually,
Cuckoo is
okay,
at
let me
Leipzig.
do this.
Leipzig, not Leverkusen.
Any Chelsea fan that's watching,
Oh, you're
and I
talking
get
about
it.
Cuckoo? Yeah, that's Leipzig.
Any Chelsea fan
Yeah.
that's watching, I get it. You guys want to get on Potter's back, and I get it. Cool, but
Well, yeah. Go on.
open up your eyes and kind of see what's going on. I said the same thing with Tuchel. Getting rid of a manager doesn't fix anything with these players. Like, drop your preferences and your player stands and take away your emotions and just look at things logically about what's actually going on.
This is
That's
what
tough,
everyone
though.
understands
That's-
about this
that's
as well.
It's common sense, and I understand
Yeah.
common sense is not common, but like, actually take a look at what's going on. Like, we've tried so many different systems and formations with these players. We've rotated and played X player with Y player and A player with B player. Nothing's worked to a point where get rid of them all. It's not a thing of, oh well, maybe this player could work out in a with better player. No, just get rid of them all and let's just start again. Sometimes it's better to burn everything to the ground and build again. Sometimes that's just the right thing to do, regardless of who's a possible casualty.
This is something before let's go, isn't it? Like, there's something about this as well. It's like, when you really think about it, because you get an Enzo Fernandez, because who knows, Guardiola is gonna come maybe in the summer. Because you get all these high profile, it puts more and more pressure on Potter. But this is supposed to be a long-term project with him. He shouldn't be gone after 2 seasons. Because let's be honest, like, Chelsea fans see these guys come in. If they see them not delivering, you know what's going to happen. Because the more higher of profile player you get in for Potter, the more pressure is on from the fan base. Because this Chelsea fan base, I think they need to also learn that this is just not the same Chelsea anymore that they used to support. This is a different Chelsea where, like, okay, the ownership is willing to spend big money on players. They are good players and highly rated in the world. But in the same time, this ownership is also willing to give time. But your fan base is still in the old mentality where, like, I just feel like personally, like, when they see guys like Enzo coming in, guys like Guardiola coming in, they're gonna do the same mistake what happened with Tuchel when Thingy came. Remember the summer after you won the Champions League and you bought all these players, and before you could win the league, you have to have 2 starting 11s.
We've tried in the past decade, right? So since 2011, we've tried twice, maybe 3 times under Roman to build this, like, young youth sustainability team. We tried it with Andres Villas-Boas, and the players, these legends, Drogba, Lampard, Terry, down tools, got him sacked. We tried it with Di Matteo after he won the Champions League. He wasn't good enough. He got sacked. We tried it with Sarri. He wasn't good enough. Or the players, the fans turned against him, said, fuck Sarri ball, and he left. Like, these guys don't, the fan base doesn't have patience to go through that. I don't mind it. I'm not, like, blaming Bowley because I can see what he's trying to do for the long term.
Yeah, I don't
right
blame
now
either.
in the immediacy, I call out these players because they're not helping Potter. It's not like a lot of this isn't Potter's fault. These guys are meant to stand up. If I can see you perform in a Champions League final and play as if you don't have any pressure, why can't you beat Nottingham Forest? I don't understand that.
To Paul, who says it. Yeah, before you just go, Scott, one quick. As Moy's been sacked, just heard that coming back from work, nothing. I've not heard anything. Keep us posted in the chat, people. I didn't hear anything.
He's not sacked.
Potentially being sacked. All right, it's cool. But yeah, Scott, I wanted to
say,
get your
like,
thoughts because you said you didn't watch the game, but you were keeping up to date
No,
with what
but
was
like,
going on. So
yeah, I
your
kept up.
thoughts.
I'm spitting in terms of like, like the discourse I keep seeing, like the group chats I'm in on Twitter every single time after like our games, is always always aimed at Potter, and I don't understand why. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I've accepted that I don't think Paul's going to be the guy that wins us a trophy, but I think he's going to be the guy who puts us in a position where the next guy comes in and then builds off of what he's already put in. He's going to be sort of the equivalent of what Ragnick was for you, whereas he's going to sort out the problems, he's going to sort out the mess that the squad's in, he's going to put the foundations in place where the next guy comes in, and we go from being hopefully a consistent top 4 team to pushing on to challenge for the title. But the fact of the matter is, people want to turn on him again before any of these players, and it's like none of these players get mentioned, and I don't understand why, because they're just shit. Like, we had the same lineup bar one player from the Bournemouth game, the same lineup bar one player, and it's like you got Mount, nothing, Pulisic, nothing, you got Havertz, nothing. You've got like Koulibaly, nothing. Aspi, nothing. That's 6 of your first team players, like straight away, or 5 or 6 of them straight away. That's half your team. You've then got like, if you look at the other players we've got, you've got Jorginho, half the fan base thinks isn't good enough. Cool, that's like 6 or 7. Then you've got Zakaria, hasn't had a lot of game time. I think technically as well, he's a bit limited. That's 7 or 8. Like, you see in the theme here, we've got like 2 or 3 players in this team currently that we can trust on a consistent basis. And it's like, so what are you expecting from him? To work miracles? Because he ain't that guy. He's not been that guy. Very few managers are that guy. And it's just stupid. Because, like, similar to what Prime was mentioning with Tuchel, we've played like so many different formations and so many different ways and like partnerships and linking players together to see what works. And it's like, none of it works. None of it works because these players are just shit. So focus your energy on these players because they're just shit.
Sorry,
like I'm
that seems to be the common theme. That's exactly what Victor said in different words, but that's exactly what he got to. Like, when he explained, it got to the bottom line. But yeah,
I'm convinced. I said this in a group chat I was in. I'm convinced you could have these players, like all these players that have like been shit for like the past 2-3 years. You could have them run train on like one of your family members, one of all these family members, and they'd thank them for it. They'd literally thank them for it. Jesus. Like these men just like they want to defend them all the time. It's like, call them out. Like they're like we got rid of one manager because he was trying to do the youth thing. He was really inexperienced. That didn't work. Got rid of him. We got the Champions League. Like, we got the big manager in. He managed to win his Champions League. That's all well and good. Then the previous regime shafted him because he got rid of 2 key defenders. Didn't really help him in terms of who he wanted. Like, didn't do anything. We got rid of him. Cool. Like, we're now into our 3rd manager. With some of these players, we're into our 4th or 5th manager, and we're still going back to the manager. Like, I've said from time, like, I just want to put pain for some of these Chelsea fans now because they deserve it. Like, Chelsea fans deserve pain. They deserve it.
Right.
These spoiled Chelsea fans who think that every year is, we need to win something. That doesn't work that way. Like, they're just bring pain. They deserve it.
See what you're saying before you go, Prime. One sec. Yo, see when you bless and everything, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. I just want to speak after Prime minute.
Yeah. Now I'm just saying, big up to you, innit? Because
it's easier to blame other things than to like critically look within yourself, or to blame your favorite player. So why would I blame Havertz and Mount, who I love, when I can say it's Potter's fault? He doesn't know what he's. I remember I said this when he got the job. I said, in a few months' time when we go bad, these guys will say, "Oh, he's an inexperienced manager from Brighton. Why did we get rid of a Champions League winning manager?" This is not the same tweets I'm seeing on the timeline. It's not, and I'm not like, this is not. It's. I keep saying this: nuke the squad, get rid of everyone. Even if that means players who I like is a casualty of that. I genuinely do love Reece James, but if he might end up being a casualty, that's fine to me. And that means we can get rid of everyone and start again. I'm cool with that. But people don't realize that they will. I speak to more idiots on Chelsea Twitter than any of you guys, and it's like people will say to me,
robots,
no. They're not robots. They're just idiots. People will say to me, people will get angry at me and give me abuse and say things like, "Oh, you want to get rid of everyone? Do you want to get rid of Thiago Silva?" And I'm like, "Well, if it means I can get rid of everyone else, then sure, maybe he's 38 years old." We'll be like, "Oh, you don't rate Reece James?" Well, no, I rate him, but if him leaving means I can get rid of everyone else, then maybe that also has to happen. Like, people will give abuse to other players just to protect the ones you rate. And I'm like, the ones you rate, your star boys, your generational talents, aren't doing anything. Saka, who I think is an average player, he's ripping up this league. But yeah, I'm a bad guy from expecting Mount and Havertz to consistently put in performances, not even score goals or get assists, but just consistently perform. I'm a bad guy for wanting that.
This guy's internet still
I
in
get
2022.
actual abuse from Chelsea players, Chelsea fans. I get
No, Prime, you're breaking up a
I
little
get
bit. You're breaking up, Prime.
When's New Year's for you, Prime? When's
You're
New
breaking
Year's
up,
for
Prime.
you?
Yeah,
You're
man.
breaking up, man.
Flawless.
All right, have you celebrated New Year's yet,
Yeah,
Prime?
but yeah, go and see one. Say what you want to say. What you want to say. And yes, Paul.
No.
And yeah, Paul. I'm enjoying the tears as well. It's
stop.
great. But go and see one. Floor's yours,
Yeah,
man.
man. Bro, as Scott said, bro, some of these Chelsea fans, they're just thick in their head. They have no brain cells whatsoever. They're saying our call is Sat Potter, bro. So if we Sat Potter and the same thing happens, who are we going to blame next? What Chelsea fans fail to understand, that this core needs to change. How are we playing a high line with Aspie, Koulibaly and Silva, the combined age of 110? How does that make any fucking sense? It makes no sense. The combined age of 110. You're taking the piss of my life.
Was that your back four?
And Cucurella, yeah, you was at left back, bro.
I was going to say that's with him. That's a combined age, like
younger than the Milan attack.
bro. That's nearly a combined age of like 135 or nearly 140 between our fucking
home, man. And as Prime has said, bro.
Wait, who's that old apart from? Oh yeah, Aspie in it. Wait, Aspie and Thiago
I think
Silva.
Aspie's like
yeah.
32.
Okay. Yes.
He's 33, G.
All right, so he's
Even worse.
he's
like
mid
33. I think Koulibaly's
So
like
you've got
31, 32, and Thiago Silva's 38.
Koulibaly's age. Yeah, I forgot Koulibaly's up there as well. I didn't even think about that. Sorry, C.
Yeah, Zuma 2.0.
Hey,
Yeah.
Buddy Ashila's coming too now.
Yeah.
That guy definitely looks. That guy, they're saying he's 23. Nah, man, he's 45. You can't fool me.
Bro.
Look at his face.
Bro,
Look at his face.
Koulibaly might actually be Zuma's dad, bro. And there's no
He is,
way.
bro. Oh, this.
He's his
I'm
father.
losing a bit of patience with him still, man.
I'm losing
Say
patience.
what you saying. Say what you saying, C1. Go on. I know you
Bro,
want to get it
like-
off your
like-
chest. Go on.
I understand that you adapting to the league here, but you can't be getting dominated by Awanini, whoever the fuck his name is, bro. That guy is arse. I've watched Forest a lot. That guy is arse, bro. You can't be getting dominated like that for a supposed world-class centre-back, bro. I'm sorry. And today, all the Havertz stands that wanted to get into Lewis's DMs, racially abuse him, cook him, all that of that bullshit. You're quiet
Facts.
today, aren't you? You fucking
Yeah.
idiots, man.
That's facts.
And Mason Mount, he just did what he does. Doesn't create, runs about, loses the ball in dumb areas. And Pulisic, he just does what he does as well, man. He just goes in between games. And Sterling today was shit apart from the goal. I thought Zakaria was shit as well. Jorginho didn't offer himself in possession. I didn't transition. We know this guy's a liability. The only players that actually played well today was Kepa and Cucurella. And bro, and as Scott said, these Chelsea fans, they deserve pain, man, because they keep on blaming the managers and letting the players fool them again, man. Criminals.
No fairs.
What pisses me off as well, actually, just
go on.
before you go, is like, again, I've got someone in a group chat that me and a couple of other people, like I think C1's in there, who's talking about, I'd have taken Emery at my football club. Like, bro, like, if you want to watch Emery ball for like 9 months of a year, you can do that, bro. I'm not watching Emery ball. I watch Conte ball, fam. I'm good. I feel for Jez. He has to watch it now. I'll watch Conte ball. I'm good. Like, if I want to watch my football club,
Wait, you think I'm watching Conte ball? What the hell?
like, but obviously, yeah, like, but like, I don't want to watch this boring, dull shit. Like, at the end of the day, sooner or later, it's just boring. Like, I want to enjoy football when I watch it. Yeah, this isn't enjoyable. That's losing. But you think I
Respect
wanna-
Emery ball. Respect Emery ball.
I've been there not enjoying football.
Respect
but I was
Emery
gonna do
ball.
Shut up, Brian.
Respect it. Shout out to Emery, man.
I
We
prefer
do, man.
the
He's got
olive ball. What the hell?
however many
Olive was
Europa
vibes.
League he's got, man. Shout out Emery, innit? Question for Flawless: is the eye test dying? No, it's not dying. Mo, this depends on who you're talking to. Because some people favor the eye test heavily. Some people favor the stats heavily. For me, it's a mix. It depends on what you're talking about, the type of player you're talking about, the position the player plays, etc. So goals and assists, yes. If you're signing a 9, for instance, I'm going to look at his goals. But that's not the be-all and end-all. I'm not going to say, he scored 35 goals game in, because we had a certain guy who scored 18 goals last season and is now playing in Saudi Arabia. So they can be misleading. Whereas, say for a 6, I'm not really going to look at his stats too tough. Like Jules won, stuff like that. Like I may look at intercept. Yeah, I may want. Yeah. Before you go, team, I may look at like interceptions and things like that. But one thing I want my DM to do is positioning himself, like and block off passing lanes and stuff. There's no stat for that. So when I'm watching, I'll have a look and see about that. Like someone mentioned when I was on Ranty stream, and someone mentioned in the chat about Eriksen being poor in transition and poor defensively. And like, is he the best in transition? No, but he's not poor defensively when we're on the ball, because he'll position. He's very intelligent. He'll position himself well to block off a passing lane, and there's no stat for that. So to me, it's a mix, because you get people who are too heavy on G&A, which is Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, and people will praise them and say, "Oh, we got 20 G&A, and he got 20 goal contributions in 20 games." But a hat trick, two of those hat tricks with hat tricks against the team's 20th and 19th. So what are we talking about? Like, it can really, stats can be misleading, especially with attacking players. But on the eye test, we spoke on it. Neymar, he's the prime, and that's a player I rate, but he's a prime example of, because of the way he plays, and it looks good to watch, and it's great in comps, and it's just entertaining overall. He gets away with murder. Like I was saying, he's the worst in his class for the level he was supposed to get to. He was supposed to take the crown of Messi and Ronaldo. He was the next one up. I always point back to when you look at the 3 that was at Real Madrid and you look at the 3 that was at Barcelona with Ronaldo, Bale, and Benzema, and then there was Suarez, Neymar, and Messi. Outside Ronaldo and Messi at those times, everyone will tell you Neymar's the 3rd best. So how come they've all outshone him since they broke up? They've all outshone him since they broke up. That shouldn't happen, whether that's Suarez, who won the league title with Atletico Madrid, whether that's Bale doing what he did with Real Madrid, also getting Wales. How have him and Neymar been in the same amount of semi-finals in major competitions? Like, that's not right. Like, him getting Wales to a World Cup finals is like Neymar winning it, because they should be nowhere near it. That team is not one of the best teams in top 20 teams or 26 teams in the world. Like, Benzema's Benzema, it goes without saying. So it's kind of like, that's how I look at it. So no, I don't think it is dying. But go on,
I think as well, like, I think also on that, like, it goes the other way as well in terms of what you were saying. Like, the eye test definitely isn't dying because too many people go the other way for goals and assists. Like, I had someone on the stream the other day tell me Hakim Ziyech didn't have a good World Cup because he only got 1 goal and 2 assists. It's like, if you go and actually watch the games, he did have a good World Cup. Also, you tell me he has 2 assists. Go and look at the striker he was playing with, who missed like 5 chances.
Was so bad.
Like, their striker was shit. He was terrible. He got 1 goal like in the whole tournament. And then you look at it and, like, you want a perfect example, like Olivier Giroud in the World Cup, not the last one, the one before. Like, if you look at that on paper, what was it? No shots on target the whole tournament for a striker. Yeah. On paper, that's terrible. But you go and actually watch it, he was key to why they won. He was key to why they won because he got everyone else in the game. Pogba, Griezmann, Mbappe. He got everyone else involved.
Facts. He did. Go on, Timo. You was gonna say something?
I was gonna say, then go back to the ice testing again. Like, for example, the word rebuild, and I feel like in this case, leaving the likes of Aspi, for example, along with bringing on Aubameyang, who's on the bench, whilst leaving Hutchinson and Hall on the bench, and I feel like you're relying on the same players who are a massive part of the Chelsea mess that we are in right now. It's not going to change, and I just think Potter needs to be enabled to get rid of the players who are not contributing, and there is a serious lack of drive and urgency as of late. And I wouldn't say he's done massively wrong, but what is his options? Up until then, it's becoming a more pattern towards the manager. Until then, you are just yelling for the sake of it, like giving 90% of the social media thinks those players are terrible.
No, I hear you. And like I said, that's why it's a mix. I don't think in football is very rare in most cases, especially top level. And that's normally what we're talking about. Is it one thing if a team's playing bad, or one thing if a player's playing bad, or one thing like if a manager's under pressure? There might be multiple things, and because it's a team game, multiple factors as well. But you have to hold whether it's the team, whether it's that player, whether that's manager accountable. But context matters as well. It's not one size fits all. It's not one rule for all. So you shouldn't treat it exactly the same. Like manager, simple thing is manager with players. Like if a manager's made 11 signings, you should expect more from him than if he's made 2 signings. So for instance, if United sign someone in January and then in the window in the summer go and sign 3-4 more players, that's then like 11 players or around 11 players. Ten Hag would have signed, depending on how many in January. So my expectation of him will go up. I'm like, you now have more of the tools that you want at your disposal. I'm sure it's the same for the Chelsea fans with Potter as well. If he makes signing in January and signings in the summer, you're like, all right, you should start to the team should start to resemble some form of what the manager's trying to do, and you should see that. Like me and Taza spoke on this like about Ten Hag. I can already see what he's trying to do, and these ain't his players. But you can already see like the patterns and everything that he is attempting to do. That's why De Gea will probably get moved on at some point because he does want to play out from the back. And even though De Gea has been better, he hinders that. He does. And people hate the term modern day goalkeeper, but that's what you need at the top level. And De Gea is not that, unfortunately. It's not just to do all the traditional goalkeeping stuff, save the ball, come for crosses. Like, nah, you got to start attacks now.
And Flawless, you know why that's kind of similar, I guess, with Tuchel? Say a season passes or 18 months and your board has not given Ten Hag funds to, say, buy a ball-playing centre-back, buy another number 8, buy a striker. Your team will start regressing and underperforming. Same thing that happened with Tuchel. He got the best out of what he had, but eventually it's not good enough. You hit a ceiling and you start to regress, and it's all of a sudden the manager's fault.
That's a good comparison, actually. That's a very, very, very good comparison. Because if that did happen at United, I'd be pissed, and I wouldn't be on Ten Hag's case. If we don't sign anybody in January and we don't sign anybody in the summer, I'm not looking at him going, yo, he's already currently doing that now. Because I know how limited this team is. I've spoke about this in depth for like the past 2 years about some of these players not being good enough, and he's getting the most out of them. Like Luke Shaw playing centre back in the back four is crazy, but that shouldn't be an option. He shouldn't have to do that, but guess what? He does. That's how bad our club captain is. That our left back is better than him playing centre back. Casemiro's a better centre back. He's like the 6th, 7th best centre back at our club. And people, this is the same guy people will campaign. Oh, he's better in the World Cup and all this, and he got dunked on by Giroud for the goal. Go on.
If you're entering 20,
you're breaking.
If you're entering 2025, or if you're entering still your backup left center.
Yo, you need to get this Ethernet cable, fam. You're breaking up, fam. I actually want to hear what you have to say as well. But you're breaking up enough, fam. Jump out and jump back in.
Everything you said there, by the way, Flawless, exactly is why I don't get on Potter. Like, I'll get on him for like his subs. Like, I thought a couple of his subs today were odd. But like, that's why I'm not getting on him for like, why can't he get the best out of these players? Because he's like the 4th manager that can't. So what the fuck am I getting on him? Like, how many of these players are his players? Like you said, Cucurella. That's it. No. Like, no, he's not asking to work with Mason Mount consistently. He's not asking to work with Christian Pulisic consistently. He's not asking to work with like Koulibaly consistently. Like, he's not asking to work with these guys on a consistent basis. If he was, they might be at Brighton right now. That's probably their level.
And the problem is as well, like I feel like it's going to cost a lot of money if they're going to sack Potter anyway. But I think Bolly won't be stupid to do that anyway. So whether you like it or not, he's going to stay for the long haul, and we just have to accept it and move on.
I get exactly what you said. Okay, go for it.
You got a 5-year deal. It's not leaving anytime soon. I don't know why this Potter out thing is going on. Like 3 months in, it's a bit crazy to me.
I think Potter got he got the bad end of the stick, which wasn't his fault because he replaced Tuchel, who had been successful and is a class manager. He's like, we all admit, like Tuchel's next job is going to be a job at a major club, and if it's not a major club, it's a major national team. Like his stocks have gone up. Like this, like he's seen as his resume and his what's the word I'm looking for? His profile is much better than what it was than when he walked into Chelsea. He's now much better. Like I said, he'll go to whether it's a Real Madrid, whether it's a Barcelona, a Bayern Munich, the England national job, the Germany national job. Like he's going to one of those type of clubs. So I think Graham Potter, because you've let a manager like that go, rightly or wrongly, I even disputing that. And then Potter's in that kind of not in the exact same bracket as Tuchel when he walked in, but like just underneath us in terms of it's unknown. Like I didn't know how good Tuchel was.
He's the equivalent, like kind of to a lesser extent, obviously, but he's the equivalent of what Moyes was to Ferguson.
First,
like where you've got a hugely what's it called? A hugely popular manager who did really well at the club. Like, obviously, Tuchel didn't have the level that Ferguson had, but he's hugely popular. Like left under odd circumstances, and then you've got the guy coming after him that was handpicked by the owner. It's like it doesn't like there's always gonna. Like, that's all I hear as well. Like always ends up going back to Tuchel. He's always brought up, and it's like why? Man's probably chilling in some European country, not giving a fuck. Why are we bringing him up?
People are still burnt by it, innit? And I get it. If my team let a manager the caliber of Tuchel go and then brought in Graham Potter, I'd be upset. Same way to back to your, even though it's to a lesser extent, I was fuming about Moyes. Head was hot, fuming. He's the only manager I've ever been out before he got the job. Everyone else I gave a chance to. I was like, why are we doing this? Like when Sky broke it and was like, yeah, David Moyes, my head was hot. Because I'm like, this makes no sense whatsoever. He's not the guy. This guy's won nothing and done nothing of note to be managing Manchester United. No disrespect to Everton, but Everton and Manchester United, the expectations is much different. You know, Moyes' level is Everton, West Ham, best of the rest. Try finish 7th and break into the top 6. Be defensive, be pragmatic, hit you on the counter, athletic team, etc. Like I said, people, go look at his Everton team and go look at his West Ham team. It's the exact same shit. It's just insert player here. Like Leighton, I'm convinced Leighton Baines and Cresswell are related. They're that similar as fullbacks. They're the exact same style. I've seen this. When he had Lingard, Steven Pienaar. It's the same shit, people. Antonio, Yakubu. The list goes on, people. I'm telling you. Souček, Fellaini, not even Fellaini, friggin' who was the other one? They had a big center. I can't remember who the center mid is off the top of my head, but it's the same shit. I'm telling you. I'm saying. Their fullback, Kufal, Herbert. They do the same job.
Schneiderlin.
They do the same job. They do the same job. I'm telling you. Like I said, Lingard, Pienaar. Like, and what's funny is shout out to Stroh and JV. We listed like 12 players when we went through it properly. Like when we was talking about the mix. Yeah, McFadden, Bowen. Both play on the right and they're both left-footed and cutting. Do the same shit. But that's all right for that level, but that ain't it for Everton, you know what I'm saying? And that. Speaking of, you know what I'm saying, not being at a certain level. Yes, Ahmed, what are you telling me, family? You good? Happy New Year. Chat to me. What you saying? This guy's
Happy New Year to you too. I hope everyone's well.
Big up, man.
No, can you hear me?
Yeah. We good now. Yeah. We good.
Oh, sorry. I would have said Happy New Year to you and everything. So yeah.
The Somalian David Moyes.
Shut up, man. Not really. Don't need this nonsense.
Don't need this nonsense. But you have a good New Year, though, Ahmed, yeah?
Yeah, man. I had a nice New Year. You know, enjoyed myself very much.
Love that, man.
Not so much today, but hey.
We gonna get today. Don't worry, innit, man. We gonna get your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because I personally want to hear your thoughts on today's game, innit? So it'd be interesting. I didn't even think about it until you just popped up. But people, don't forget as well, check out www.thelatesttrends.net, www.thelatesttrends.net. Online designer clothing store, people. It's designer clothing at cheaper prices. So make sure you check it out. I've dropped the link in the chat. The link is also underneath in the description for every single live stream video. You can see it on there. You got Armani, Versace, Stone Islands, Off-White, Palms Angels. The list goes on. Men's wear on there, kids wear on there, female wear on there as well. Trainers also. So, yo, man, it's New Year. Go treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got all that Christmas money. Go treat yourself in it. You know what I'm saying? And that you might be rich like Ahmed. Make sure you'll treat yourself, man. Yeah, you can't just treat others. You gotta give yourself your flowers. You gotta give everybody their flowers, including yourself. That's why I always saying it. So make sure you check it out. www.thelatesttrends.net.
Get some turtlenecks like Potter.
Yeah, man, get a turtleneck like Potter. If you want to look like Graham Potter, you might want to look like Ahmed with the turtleneck and that. Go get the turtleneck. I think they're fire. I might have to get one myself. I ain't gonna lie. Reminds me of Archer from the show Archer. But we move. Even though the last season was
No
trash.
way. No way you
I'm
just
saying.
called. No way you just called Ahmed the Saman and Graham Potter. Both are meaty. That's
did you
why.
do that?
That's crazy.
But
That's
I also
crazy,
mentioned
yo.
Archer, which is like one of my favorite shows. I'm saying one of my favorite characters who wears turtlenecks. See that? See what he tries to do. Ahmed, don't let him try and start.
Ahmed, I wouldn't take that life. I wouldn't take that type of disrespect. That's just me though, personally. Like,
yeah, all right. Mo says, question: do you think a front three of Rashford, Martial, and Sancho would work? I think this is a very balanced front three, and I enjoyed watching them in pre-season. I've gone into depth on this. I did on the last Man United, like last year, like the last one of the last year, and I'll say it again. I don't want to. I want to see Sancho play central. That's where I'm at with him. Once he comes back, I want to see him central, preferably in the false nine. I don't want to see him playing out wide. And the reason why I say that, it's an athlete's game. It's a pace and power game now. And if you don't have them attributes, specifically playing out wide, specifically playing in the Premier League, you have to offer other things. And you have to be exceptional. All the wingers in the Premier League, like I say, Mahrez is legit the only one I can think of. He's at the top level. And doesn't have those things I just mentioned. So now I don't like this as a front three. And our lack of strikers as well. That's why I want to see Sancho play a false nine. If it's against a team where dominating the ball against, then I'd play him in the 10 as well. Say for instance, the game against Wolves that just went, Sancho in the 10 is cool. But I'm not with seeing Sancho out wide. Because I just don't think he's just not explosive. Like you don't have that turn of pick. The guy always point out like the goal that Garnacho scored against Fulham. Sancho don't score that. And that's not because Sancho's bad, because it was actually a bad pass from Eriksen when you look at it. But Garnacho's quick. Rashford scores that. Like Garnacho scores that. Anthony scores that. But that's just my thoughts on it. What are you saying, Tazer, about this front three?
bro, no. I said it before, flawless. I said to put him in the 10 way before everyone else. Bro, this firstly on Sancho. I'll be surprised if he comes back. I the things I've heard from people that I trust and are reliable and know this kind of stuff. Like, he benched Rashford just for, sleeping in. He's banished Sancho for... The last time Sancho played was October 22nd. Ever since then, it was quote-unquote tonsillitis, and then, some other shit. Now we're January 1st. It's been 2 months at least and another week. So, it's been, around 10 weeks. He's not even trained with us. Even now, he's back in Manchester. He's not training with the team. He has an individual training program. Who do you ever know that goes away to the Netherlands for an individual training program and then comes back to do the same shit? I don't know, man. I think there might be a chance we don't see him because, people are saying that there's some shit that he did that can't be said because obvious reasons, because they don't want to give their shit away, but it's not even that he did something crazy. It's it's not that big of a deal. So Ten Hag just might be done with him. I don't know.
I'm unsure. Because I don't know. I just hope he gets right. When I heard mentally, I was like, all right, that's him bad. When I heard he wasn't mentally right, I was like, yeah, that's something's
it's a combination of everything. He's not mentally...
Vin, yeah, I'll shout you. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, Vin. I'll jump on clubs after. Yeah, because we're gonna close out shortly. So if you man are still active, man,
we'll be there, man. We'll be there.
100%. Be there no matter what. Well, go and say what you're saying.
He's listen, it's not my sources. I literally checked it on Saeed's channel yesterday. You guys could go watch it. His name is Danny. I'm pretty sure the brother. He came out with a couple of stuff about Garnacho as well, which later came out to be true. So I believe.
So what did he say about Sancho?
He said that he did something that wasn't even that bad, and he also said that everyone's oh, it's a performance issue, it's this issue. He's it's all of the above. He's Ten Hag's not happy with him in his football. He said that he said that when he was first coming into United, a lot of people told him that were around him, he's like, he shouldn't come here because of, you know, his personal stuff. That it was better that he was away from, you know, the UK, all these barbecues, all this, all that. Like, he's like, he doesn't have the right people around him, like all that stuff. Like, so that is more concerning to me than any football thing.
So Tarzan, what you're saying is that he really is smart with
because all this is speculation. That's why I'm just like, all right, we'll see what's But like I said, when something's meant, this is why I don't comment on it, people, because I like to comment knowing facts. So until like he says something or Ten Hag says something, and to go right, it's because of this, and this, or Sancho does a sit down interview and tells all about like what happened. This is all speculation. So this is why, like I said, but when I heard mental, and I've heard so many different rumors about different stuff, I just hope he gets right mentally, because that's no joke in it. Like, mental health is wealth. So that's how I'm looking. Like, outside of football, forget football, push that to the side. Get mentally right. That's my biggest concern. Like, that's my biggest sense. The biggest thing I want him to do is like, yo, don't even worry about the ball. Yo, get right. Because something's off. How are you young, black, and rich playing for Manchester United and you going through mental problems? Something's off, because you should be on top of the world. Obviously, we all have bad days, but like, you should be on top of the world from the outside looking in. That lets me know how bad certain about. This happened with Lingard when he was going through a lot. The same thing happened with Lingard.
Even with Russia, there was a period.
The same thing happened with Russia. And the thing is with Lingard, I know family. I have family that knows his family like very well, so I know the inside stuff. So some of the stuff that was going on with Lingard. Obviously, I don't say it because it's personal business, but it's like that type of stuff can easily affect. Yeah, man. That's why I leave that out.
Sancho, it doesn't make any sense, because look at the start of the season, right? He was very good in preseason, arguably our best player. He comes back, he sits Milner and Alisson down, scores a banger against Liverpool. Leicester, he scores again. He was doing well. Europa League, he scored that goal and then, you know, did the shin pad thing because his fan gave him a shin pad, blah, blah, blah. But then, all of a sudden, boom, he's just shit. It's like it happened overnight. It's not even like, oh, gradual, you know, bad form. Like, overnight, he just sucked. Like, I didn't like. That's why there's something like way deeper than, you know, that. So I hope he gets right, man. Like, I'm just worried.
And to Mo, he said, to be fair, Saka is average. To be fair, Saka is average in ability, but he has PMP. I guess Saka's not average. Saka's a good player.
He's above average, but he's not great.
Because with the PMP, having PMP doesn't make you a good player. You need to know how to use it. That's footballing IQ. But because of that man's skin tone, people won't talk about it like that. He's an intelligent footballer. Not you. I'm just saying in general.
I agree. That's what I'm saying to you.
I agree.
Oh no, I thought you said who. My bad. I thought Tarzan said who. Like I was saying no.
No.
I was just clarifying. Yeah. Like, see. Yeah. My bad. So yeah, that's what that is. So Saka's very intelligent. Like, because having PMP and not knowing how to use it, you know who that is? Adama Traore. Dan James. That's who that is. I'm saying, so to say, oh, he's average, no, he's good technically. Like, let's not do this. He's smart. He's a smart, like, he was we run jokes, let the country down because he missed the penalty. Now, this is me as a United fan who can't stand Arsenal, but to say that Saka is average in ability is ridiculous. Because it's not like he's just a runner. Right, no, Saka's a good footballer.
I'm good at agenda. Generally, like, even though I still believe at left back, you could still do a job.
Absolutely.
And even left wing. Because I believe he's a creator. I believe he's a creator and he's left-footed. Because you can see the only issue in this game is his finishing. Like, I'll be real. I have a cousin. The guy is probably about 13, 12 now. Probably has a harder shot than Saka right now. That's his only issue with Saka. Like, he needs to start learning how to play shots if he can't put any sort of conviction to them. But now, like, I hate to say it, man, but the progression of him since he came through is crazy.
No, it is. So yeah, all right. Before we close out, make sure you lot again get them likes up. Whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back after the live, get the likes up. Subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. Big up to everyone who's listening on the audio platform as well. I will be uploading this if you're watching live right now to the audio platforms. All the Q&As, all of the shows you see on the YouTube channel, aside from watch-alongs, will be on the audio platforms as well. But we'll end with this. We'll go to Mr. Ahmed himself. what I'm saying? The floor is yours. Nottingham Forest won. Chelsea won. Did you watch the game, number one? And number two, thoughts on the game?
I watched the game, of course. It's just the same old, you know. And I don't want to talk too much. Like, we know Azpilicueta, like, I don't know why he's late in the squad. You know, Jorginho, you know, he was literally left by himself there, bro. I don't know what Paul was doing there in the first and second half. It was literally Jorginho in the midfield. Zakaria was going up for some reason, playing essentially as an attacker. So we were
I'm slow down. We can't understand you, man. Yo, relax, man. You know what I'm saying, big man. Yo,
Am I talking too fast? My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, you're talking too fast. It's cool. I'm here. That's what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to just mediate, fam. Understand the stressful times, man. Of course, it's not all right, man.
You stressed.
Ahmed, why are you so stressed, man? Relax.
I'm not stressed.
Sarcasm to you here, man. It's okay.
The
game's over.
Watch you, man.
Sorry, bro.
Wait, what? Who's watching? Yo, if you got gal,
I said you're stuttering a bit, man. I thought there's some Somalian girl watching you, man.
Oh no, this guy is crazy. This guy is crazy. Nah, I wasn't even talking about the stuff. I was just talking about the pace, because normally, you know what I'm saying, you're a fluid talker. When you was getting the smart whip jokes off there, innit? You was, you know what I'm saying, everything landed there, beautifully placed.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm saying, no problem there, did it? There were no speech impediments on in there, did it? Yeah, Judy smart whip, did it? Yeah, but go on, carry on. Go on.
As I was saying, like, obviously, I spoke on.
To be fair, I kind of get it, man. Like, he has to talk about Kai Havertz now. Like, I would be stuttering too. Like, this is the same way when I talk about Dio's son. It's peak, man.
So you're talking. So Ahmed, you mentioned Jorginho like being in the midfield on his own. Zakaria going over to the left. Azpilicueta still playing, going well. Let's talk to us.
Listen,
Gallagher, your boy.
Listen, one step at a time. I was gonna talk about Mount and Havertz, absolute stinkers, bro. They had absolute stinkers this game. And the thing is, I know that there's some people in the community that don't want to talk about it, bro. But Mount, since I think last year has performance-wise, I'm saying performance-wise, not like what he's getting DNA-wise, has decreased. Like, he's actually gotten worse over time. Like, this season alone, probably I would probably count in all competitions, he's only had like 3 to 4 good performances overall. Havertz is the same shit. One sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Or it's like 90% maybe always shit, and then 10% we can score a goal. Okay, that's him. Sterling, even though he scored a goal, fair play to him, was fairly quiet on that side. And in a way, I'm gonna give him like the BOD because he's Azpilicueta is not really inverting with him because like he's not got the pace to do that. So I can give Sterling like the benefit of the doubt there. Pulisic as well, he was doing what he could, essentially. I can't really go into Pulisic when the guys that are around him, aren't helping him out as well. Cucurella had a really good performance, same with Thiago Silva. Kepa did what he had to do, barring obviously the goal, which was, I would say, brilliant goal by Aurier. But I think Potter has not helped himself, with the formation that he chose. Because you can't, in the sense that you can't play Jorginho by himself. You should know that, man. I don't know. We've seen it with Tuchel and we've seen it with Lampard. You can't play Jorginho as a single pivot by himself because he's too slow. And there's like a really good video that was going around here that I saw where he had to basically screen and because we lost position midway through and it was basically just him there and he was acting as a screen and because he was acting as a screen, the player could just literally bop it down because they didn't have the pace to come and collect it back. So at the end of the day, it's the same Chelsea. Obviously, I'm hearing the Enzo Fernandez stuff that's happening. That's great news, But the reality, that's great news. But if that happens, what is our new midfield going forward? Is that going to be Kovacic and Enzo midfield, where you play a double pivot essentially, or are you going to drop?
It's got to be Jorginho. It's got to be Jorginho and Enzo, surely.
No, you can't do that. No. Because
so let's say hypothetically it's Enzo and Kovacic. Who's the defensive cover?
No, as in you play them both as double pivots, essentially. But
if they both play in the 6, someone has to defend. They're both forward. To my knowledge, at Enzo, you lot let me know, he is a more forward-thinking, attacking player. His attributes are attacking.
It's very similar to it's very similar to Fabregas essentially.
You might say Fabregas Cruz-esque. So you need
Cruz.
Need Cruz as much as I rate. So what I'm saying is, if I know you lot don't like Jorginho, but it's like
I like Jorginho.
But my point is somebody, and I rate Kovacic as well.
Yeah,
somebody got to defend.
That's the problem, man. And then the thing is, we need another right back. I don't know. The club is
Chelsea
looking for a
problems.
right.
Let's go.
Yeah, we need a right back in it, like as soon as possible. And that, I find it ironic here. We are really in the gutter right now. And I looked at the table today. I was like, how the fuck are we still 7 points off top four? And I'm like, we're not even gonna get top four. But it was actually shocking. Yeah, seeing that, bro. I don't know how that's happening, man.
No, they had to bring the Fulham and they had to bring back the Fulham and Brighton meme back for Chelsea.
Oh yeah, because you lot between the minutes. Yeah,
literally-
shout out to Melody.
It's actually crazy. What?
Yeah, but this, I just think, at the end of the day, like, we need to three things.
I feel you're short prick, bro.
Yo,
Hey, shut up.
Yo,
You wanna hold on?
Hey, you shut up, man.
Hey, you shut up.
Are
What
you
a
not
working
telling me,
knee
yeah?
for fucking Reece
Are
James.
you not telling me?
Hey,
Yo,
man,
that shit,
what goal for
Yo,
fidget spinner,
what
bro?
it is, yeah, in this content creator space, like,
What a
you
Premier
got,
League
like,
appearance for fucking.
Bro, tell
Yo,
finished
yo,
video
whoa,
to
whoa,
beat
whoa,
Peach, man.
Yeah.
Relax,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Tell
Yo,
Jordan to get his chain
Bro, you
back.
couldn't
Yo.
beat
Omari
Kinder
Hutchinson.
Bueno 1v1, man. Allow me.
Man, relax. But
Yeah,
my point is the reason why I'm laughing at it is because like that meme has stood the test of time. Like that video is like you don't like
That was
as soon
ahead
as
of
you
its
see
time.
that picture, yeah, that shit's hilarious to me. I'm sorry, innit? Like
It's ahead of-
I
it's ahead
respect
of-
memes that stand the test of time, innit? Like yo, chat to Brighton, Fulham, and them, man. Like that shit is just funny, innit? Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I want to have one of them moments where it's like I'm meme like that to the point where it stands the test of time. I was like, what, 2-3 years ago? How long ago was that?
I think
What
it's-
season was
Years
that?
ago, I'm the chosen.
COVID
Like,
season.
was still there.
It's COVID
COVID
season
season.
3 years ago, and that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Yeah, like
That's
yo,
crazy.
so that's funny. And I did Chelsea
Yeah.
being in, yeah, it's funny, man. That's funny. Hey, big on my guy
Man.
JG, King of the Hill TV, and that. Yo, JG, you gonna win the league though. But go on, carry on.
I've already said, yeah, three things need to happen, yeah. Well, obviously, the transfers, getting competent transfers to help us, obviously, with the squad. That's one, that's simple as that. Number two, like, I was looking at Potter's like post-match comments, and he's contradicting himself. He talks about, yeah, there wasn't the performance there. You know, we didn't lack effort, but we didn't have like the determination. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So and the thing is, yeah, before like the World Cup, he was talking about performances again. And I'm like, listen, big man, you already know what the problem is. Okay, you're the one that's got 48 million pound payout if it doesn't work. Okay, they have to back you. If you don't think some of these players are good enough to be in the starting squad, ban them. You have the ability to do that, man. There's no need to do that anymore, bro. Just ban them, bro. It's like, listen. If you have to bring in some stupid
Calm
do it, man.
Now let him get off his chest.
Time out.
Don't let him go.
Time out.
Let him go, man. He's
Hey,
getting this off
you know
his
what?
chest.
Let him
Man.
back,
Ahmed,
let him
Ahmed,
back.
You can bug them, big man.
Ahmed, when you say bun them, though, when you say bun them, are you talking about like get rid of them in January? Or are you talking about just dropping them? From the team?
Drop them off the team. That's what I'm saying. Play the guys that you know that are going to be good
I agree with
players for the team. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, just playing, devil's advocate. Then what if he don't? Because these ain't his players. What if he doesn't rate the replacements as well? Then he's stuck.
No, I understand that, but at some point, yeah, you have to realize if your starting 11 isn't good enough and they're killing you, you have to look at alternatives at the end of the day. That's what I always say, innit?
I agree.
Right? And listen,
Something's gotta give.
Yeah, like I understand, yeah, that going from, for example, like a Mount to Gallagher is going from shit to shit. Don't get me wrong. Or like going from a Havertz to Aubameyang is not going to be helpful. But at some point, you still have to do that change to try to make something happen. Whether it be player-wise, which I think has to happen now, if he needs to do a little tinkering of how we play in the forward or back style, then he can try to do that as well. But he has to look for solutions. He's the manager now. Let's be real, guys.
No way.
I think he should just go for the academy players. Fuck it. Like, we're not.
You saying play the youth players, yeah?
Like, it's a win. Just play the youth players, man. Just fuck it. Just play the youth players.
Okay.
If this place,
I want to see
La
Mount.
Cava, man.
I want to see
Live
Harvey
in full
Webb.
effect.
I want to see all these guys.
Omari Hutchinson. Why don't you guys play Omari Hutchinson?
I don't know what's. Listen, man.
He's drunk.
Listen,
There's Kanye on the bench. No? It's drunk. That's he's drunk. He's drunk. It's not. Why he's not playing Hutchinson? Hutchinson is miles better than.
And before you lot continue, yo, Timo, are you still in nuts? How come your name's #Tourist Saints?
No, this is the London Fireworks background.
So why? All right, okay. We just go back.
Yeah,
to that.
Hold on. No, hold on.
Question.
Speaking of London fireworks,
alive, you know.
Hold on. Speaking. No, shut up, Paulus. Speaking of London fireworks, Timo, were you able to spit Riz?
No.
He has none. So what's the
No.
point?
All right, cool. Right, we're
No,
gonna call
no,
this here
no,
anyway.
yes.
We're gonna
He has
call
the
this here.
unspoken.
Yeah,
He
I'm
has the
saying.
unspoken. He has the unspoken risk. Don't worry
All right,
about it.
we're
He's
gonna
got the
call this.
unspoken riz, yo.
Yo, love to everyone who has
Thank
locked
you.
in. You know what I'm saying? Big up to everyone who's tuned into the first Q&A of 2023. Like I say, you'll now get 3 of these a week. So you'll still get Sunday nights like tonight. You'll get Wednesday nights. You'll also get Friday nights as well, people. Q&As weekly added Friday night. So another Q&A in between the 2 days of Wednesday and Sunday as well, people. As well as other shows as of doing the most. Like tomorrow we're doing Brentford Liverpool. That'll be the first watch along. And then doing the most is back as well. So they're your 2 shows for tomorrow. Check out the upcoming live stream schedule. Go hit the like button on those videos. Hit the notification bell on those videos as well. Because sometimes for whatever reason, YouTube does not want to give you notifications at time when we go live. So it is what it is. Go follow the Twitch as well. Download the app. Make sure you head over there because we're going to be active over there. Yes, time to shine. It is my birthday Tuesday. So Tuesday, no stream. It's my birthday, people. So you won't get no streams on Tuesday. So I'll be here tomorrow.
No, you
I'll be
didn't.
back Wednesday. Nah, I'm not doing it. Nope. I'm taking it off. I did it last year. You know what I'm saying? So I do the same. But then we'll be back Wednesday. So the Man United you would have got on Tuesday. You'll get on Wednesday. You'll still get the Q&A. And then there's another game that day as well. I think it's Palace Tottenham, which is going to be interesting. So yeah, that's going to be good. It's Crystal Palace Tottenham.
Ahmed versus Jazz.
Zaha versus Emerson or Doherty. Save me a spot.
On the
I'll
Twitch
be
as
there
well.
no matter what. We're going to
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be there on the Twitch as well. Not only will you get the NBA watch alongs, them man are doing it. I know they've got a Serie A watch along and the Belgian Pro League. Well, that's the bottom row business. So they dealing with that.
For the bottom, me representing the bottom row. Watch out for the Napoli streams. I think on the weekend, they're coming back on Sunday, so we will be there.
A Serie A watch along. I didn't okay this.
Yeah, it's bottom row business. You didn't need to you know what I'm saying? And that. Just because you never mind. I'm even gonna say what I was gonna say to you, bro.
Shut up, man.
All right, but I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna bypass that one. I'll sidestep that joke. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna sidestep that joke. Well, love to everyone that has locked in. Big up all of you lot. We're gonna continue bringing you shows throughout the year. Large up all the panelists, all the regulars, all the new people. Subscribe though, you lot. Please subscribe. You lot have been doing it today. I've seen the numbers go up already. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. So we can have this 5K party and I can get absolutely waved. Because if we get to 5K on the YouTube, that would be sick. So big up to you lot. Then it's road to 10K. Or we might even do 6. I don't know. But yeah, love to everyone that's locked in. This has been the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up.
Ahmed out. Ahmed out.
Man said, yo, we're still alive, bro. You man are idiots.